Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast. I know there's a match on, but due to recent events this week, as we all know, I have not had the feel for this game. I did not want to have any. I've not even watched the game. It's not even on my screen. I've not paid attention to it all week and decided, with the channel I have, it wouldn't be right for me to be doing the content I've done this week and then go ahead and do a watch along and be like, yay, Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. So for this match day alone, I will not be doing a watch along. The watch alongs will be back as of next Thursday, but for tonight, we're going to concentrate more so on what's happened this week. The protests tonight, big up to everyone that fucking turned up, when it went, by the way. Fucking thousands of the bastards. Compared to Tottenham's anyway. Fucking Tottenham's, Jesus Christ. What's the point of even bothering? You can see him joined by Warren, and Colin is also joining us. How you doing, Colin and Warren?
I'm sitting here with a smile on my face, Ryan. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. If tonight's proved one thing, it's that it's a true representation of fan power, if anything else. Because all I've heard over the years, fans don't have as much power as people like to think, right? I would argue otherwise, considering the scenes at the Emirates tonight, because you had 60,000 Arsenal fans protesting, still protesting, still going now. Still going now.
Big up to them, every single one of them. Considering it's a pandemic still, big up to every one of them.
I know. Do you know what really winds me up, right? Because we have to talk about that fan forum as well, right? Because that was an utter sham. That was a sham. Do you know what it was? It gave off AGM vibes when Stan Kroneke only had about 60% share in the club, right? And you had Usmanov with the other 30, right?
Yeah.
You know that one AGM. What I don't know.
It was the last one. I think it was.
I don't know who it was, but there was a line used where it was in regards to our performances in the Champions League at the time. The line was, "That question's just noise," where they treated us with utter contempt. And that's exactly the feeling I got with that fans forum. The audacity of Josh Kroneke to blame a pandemic on not engaging with us. Bollocks.
I think when big up to the redaction gooners and everyone that was involved in it, by the way, the ones that they put it out, when they're putting it out as it was happening on their social media, I think that sentence really lit the fire through our fan base on social media. And then when he goes on to say, we thought about what the fans want. The global fans want Barcelona and Madrid on a regular basis. But you English peasants, you want your rainy nights in Stoke. That's basically what he said. He spoke down to us like we're scum.
Yeah. Ryan, like I told you, it gave off AGM vibes. There's no disputing that, because that's exactly what it felt like to me. And do you know what? Big up to Akil 10 on Twitter as well for saying what he said, right? And if you notice, Josh avoided that question.
Yeah, I listened to it.
He dodged that to fuck me.
Yeah,
he didn't.
I don't know who put it up on the audio up on their audio up, but I saw it earlier on, and I listened to the whole thing. And yeah, we got to that point. He was like, "Yeah, okay, moving on." So it's that sort of vibe. He did not want to answer that question.
No.
Big up Russ as well. Russ, the link has been sent. If you want to come on and still vent your frustration about Arsenal in general, you feel free.
Yeah, I'm not watching the game. I'm not watching it out of protest myself, right? Besides that, let's be real. The game means nothing. Let's just call a spade what it is, right? It means nothing. Although what I will say is, I do feel sorry for Mikel Arteta in a way,
because of the whole situation that's happened this week.
Not wanting to take away from the main problem, of course, but just from what he's had to deal with. Like, this is probably the hardest job in world football. That's what he's walked into.
Yeah,
I can't
literally.
recall a manager who's had it as bad as Mikel Arteta's had it. I don't think Fergie had it as bad.
No,
Wenger
no,
certainly
hell no.
didn't. Wenger certainly didn't.
Nope.
Like Klopp didn't
Wenger,
have it.
no,
Klopp
Wenger.
didn't have it this bad when he walked into Liverpool.
No.
Pochettino didn't. Like, this is without question the hardest job I can recall a football manager taking over in my life. That's the thing, and I feel sorry for the guy because when you look at it, you know, say what you want about Mikel, you know, he's Arsenal through and through, bruv.
I mean, I'm just going to put up. I'm on my literal social media as you're speaking. Literally, going to put up a few of the videos that have been out this evening. I've got to share the screen, but literally of the process. So anyone that doesn't know, yeah, because this is the thing with me. The reaction of some of our fans yesterday when he was saying, oh, we have no intention of selling and things like that. Certain fans are like, oh, we'll go, but really, what's the point, sort of thing? I mean, the point is that strike while the iron's hot. And this is another thing I want to get off quickly is this can't be a one-off process. We need to be shit hot on it for the rest of the season.
No,
every home game.
I don't want to give you hope, right? I don't want to give you hope, but the guy that owns Spotify, right? This is on Twitter, right? I don't want to give people hope, right? But
go on quickly before
the tweet is: as a kid growing up, I've cheered for Arsenal as long as I can remember. If KSC would like to sell Arsenal, I'd be happy to throw my hat in the ring. This guy's got $5 billion.
Jesus Christ. And it would be grown because of what, as you said, Spotify, it'll be grown as well. Jesus Christ, imagine that. But the thing is, is he any different to any other owners from overseas?
Well, here's the thing, right? What it would be like is it would more likely be a consortium with other partners as well, not just one. But here's the thing. It can't be much worse than Stan Kroneke. It's physically impossible.
Well, this clip here is literally 5:05 this afternoon when you want to look at it, and 55 minutes before kickoff.
Jesus, man, that's mad.
Minimize it. Did you hear that, by the way?
No.
I need to take my headphones out and then so it might work then. Oh dear. Right. Try this one. Yeah, this is some Red Ken, by the way. Anyone that's asked on Twitter knows Red Ken. Basically, he doesn't know about put it that way. So I hope this works.
That works.
Really fucking protest properly.
So yeah, I don't know if you, but headphones are out, so I should be able to hear that. Oh dear. But yeah, Warren, what about you? How have you recovered from the last year? Well, I say last year, nearly a week of absolute. God knows what you can. I don't have words to explain what we've had to go through as a fan, not just as a fan base, but the other fan bases involved. The Liverpool fans, I don't care about them not down the road, but Us, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, City to an extent.
I've got a few things that don't ring right for me. And I wanted to be more considered rather than sort of off the cuff and have a look. And I sort of looked into the finances of it and where they're going with it. And this thing isn't over. And there's been a few good points been made. One of the ones being, funny enough, that Sky were coming out, everybody bigging up Gary Neville and this, that and the other. But at the end of the day, what you've got is two conglomerates here, and one's just got bigger teeth than the other. That's all. And Murdoch putting his weight behind Sky. They're all going out there. They're all blitzing it, getting the fans on side, and this, that, and the other. But by the end of the day, for me personally, being 59 years of age, we sold our soul when we had the Premier League. That was 1992, and we had the Sky money and everything else. But for me, when the European Cup gets devalued, so I'm more about what you're looking at in terms of the package going forward. So it's been devalued over the years with the Champions League coming in, because at the old European Cup, I remember it as a teenager and a 20-year-old lad. The European Cup when Liverpool drew Forest out of the hat in the first round. But everybody talks about that because that's the English game. But I remember Bayern Munich versus Barcelona in the first round. And when it used to go into the hat, when you could get knocked out in Moscow in the middle of December by playing really crap in the home league, losing 3-0 in Moscow and then coming home and having to try and, do something about it. So for me, although it's never going to go back to that, when you're now going to put forward, and this is where I don't get this idea, everybody's utterly against this Super League. And that's absolutely right, and as it should be, because the idea of a Super League is absolutely appalling, because what it does is say to any fan out there, whether it's us going through what we're going at the moment, or West Ham, who are doing quite well this season, or Leicester City, is you're not part of this club, you're not going to go any further than you have done, and it's going to be a closed shop. It's no, of course the Milans want to sign up to it, they've got no bloody money. Of course your Barcelona and Real Madrid want to sign up to it. They're majorly in debt, and Kroneke was one thing right about COVID, but he got the reason wrong. COVID did cause this because they've lost their bloody dividends. And that's where it is. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's got to do with the fact that COVID has hit them in the pocket, and they're wanting to find a way in which they can make sure that if COVID's around for the next 2 or 3 years, or whatever the next thing may be, they've lost millions, make no doubt about it. Yeah. And what's going to happen now is the money that they're going to lose there, they're trying to recoup. And that's all this is a guaranteed income. And as for Kroneke giving this, that, and the other, yes, the fans have stopped it and they've made their voices known, and there's been a lot of opposition against it. But trust me, this hasn't gone away. It will just come back in another package. And now that that's stopped, for me, everybody's hailing this as a victory, and it is a victory, but it's half a victory. Yeah. Because the new proposals for the Champions League are nothing short of unbelievably crap and scandalous, and it's almost like a Super League. How in the hell, if we finish 10th, can we still qualify for the Champions League and West Ham not? How the fuck does that work?
Because we're based on the fact that we've been a European club for how many years? Exactly, it's ridiculous.
So you tell me the difference between that, because that's like saying it isn't a Super League. However, what you can have is a year to get your shit together, and we'll still let you play in the Champions League.
Basically, yeah.
So if you don't have your shit together for 2 years because you did well in the Champions League, Leicester miss out, West Ham miss out, whoever might finish 4th, 3rd, 5th. Whatever, and if you want games to have meaning, I know it's never going to happen, but you have really meaningful football matches all the time, because you make the Champions League one spot,
the champion
spot, and then you make the FA Cup another spot, and you make the League Cup the other spot, because every single game then will have meaning. And here's the other thing that's really been cracking my shit this week. Is when they were going, we want to have a Super League because there'll be less football. Bullshit. That's absolute bollocks. They wanted to run it concurrent alongside our league.
Yeah.
So very simply, you get the second team playing against Burnley on a Saturday afternoon, and meanwhile down at the Super League, you've got the full teams playing. That's absolute nonsense. The players may want to play less. Okay, so if you want to do that and you want to sort of try and balance it out for a Super League, you have 16 teams, you have one relegation, one goes to the Championship, you leave the League Cup alone, you leave the FA Cup alone, and you give 2 spots for the Champions League for that. And then they're all champions of something. So it is a Champions League, if you like. But having, expanding it to 40 teams or 72 or whatever you're going to do, they've no right to be there. None at all.
No,
Sorry, ran over, but it's really been annoying me this week.
No, right, it's so. And also, just going back to the form that went on yesterday as well. I mean, the fact that Vinay, what do you do about Vinay? I think he was very condescending as well, considering the situation he was in. And he's trying to claim his innocence, but it was him on Monday morning, him alone, that went to UEFA and not only withdrew our membership from UEFA competition at the time, but also resigned from his role at UEFA.
Yeah.
So he's and he's now like, I never knew nothing. Nothing to do with me. Fuck off.
I mean, you won't.
Sorry. Up till then, I've been very with Vinay. Look, he's not good enough for the role he's in. They want him to be on the board still, fine, whatever, but he can't be in the role he's in. Now he can fuck off. That's end of now.
And you've got this, they're all going, we need to get rid of Juventus. You ain't going to get rid of Juventus owner. His family have been there for 100 years. You're not going to get rid of him. And I'll tell you what, it ain't dead for him. And we've got there is problems with the way that we do the European Cups, and those competitions. And we could do a little better with the League Cup and the FA Cup in possibly giving that one slot. And then if you finish second, third, or fourth, you can go into a Europa League, and then that gives that real meaning because you've got proper teams having a go in there. Do you know what I mean? You've got your Man United, maybe Chelsea, us, Tottenham, or whatever. If you don't win the league and you don't win the FA Cup and you don't win the League Cup, the next 3 teams go all into that, that competition, and that's fine. But your Barcelona's ain't going to quit this. Your Real Madrid's ain't going to quit this because the one thing they're going to have to do now is sell 1 or 2 players, or they're going to have to borrow more money to put them further in debt. And the one thing that what people don't do a lot of is research the finances. Now, you'll get a lot of clubs, and it won't be because it's the death knell. Look what happened to Leeds. The moment their money problems were highlighted and aired, it was like a fire sale. Because suddenly everybody was just going and buying cheap players, and they were like a pack of wolves because it was like, here we go, this lot are in trouble. Yeah. We can get players.
Warren, do you think that Barcelona will go down the lead route of like going down the divisions in Spain? Do you think it'll go like the same way that Leeds went?
I think what'll happen, mate. I mean, I don't know if they've got so much money problems, but if they can be bailed out, they will. They'll take whatever they can. And I think you're right, they could plummet down the leagues. But if they get bailed out by the banks are going to want your banks are going to want their pound of flesh. Banks don't give a fuck about football. All they care about is money.
Yeah, that's what wound me up today, right? When a certain bank tried to apologise for the Super League. Everyone knows that all banks give a fuck about is money. That's it, bro. I've been around these types of people before. I know how they think. I'm not like, for example, let's put Vinay in that bracket as well, right?
Yep.
Now, yesterday, the fan forum was a PR disaster. Let's make no mistake about that. It was a PR. It was a PR disaster, right?
Yep.
It was,
and that's all it was, a PR stunt.
It was their attempt to cool the heat on them. That's what it was. Nothing more, nothing less. And then, do you know what? I hate having to do this, but I feel like I have to. Paying off Ray Parlour. I'm sorry, no. You're not.
No, he pissed me off today. You
are not fooling me. The club paid him off to have a go at Robbie. Yeah. That's what that happened. There's no way you're convincing me otherwise. Absolutely no way. Today of all days, you decide to have a go at Robbie.
I mean, as timing goes, I mean, it couldn't get worse, could it? It's almost out there with Meghan Markle and Prince Philip. You know what I mean? It's a disaster.
Yeah, you could argue as well that possibly that happening this morning, the way it went down, no matter what you side with, AFTV or not, an ex-player who, by the way, he's on the payroll of Arsenal. Don't care what he says, he is, because he's the club ambassador.
Yep.
Whenever they do tours, he's one of the main figures of the ex-players that are on them tours.
And if you notice, Ryan, Ian Wright, the only one that has a backbone, right?
Yeah.
He was on DAZN tonight, and he was siding with all of us and everything else. The only ex-player that has a backbone is Ian Wright. How sad is that?
Like the other
he remembers where he come from.
Yeah. No, and he loves the fans more than anything. At the club, he loves the fans. There's that connection with us, no matter what. Yeah. And also tonight, he has tweeted out again, like he did the other night, #Kroneke out. So and he's employed by one of the sponsorships in Adidas, and works with Adidas via Arsenal. So if he can fucking do it, he's right in the mix of it. Club ambassador, whatever, come out, fucking talk. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being funny. Here's the thing, Ryan, with the money side of it. I've got a really good mate, and he works in the city. And he said to me yesterday, he turned around and he said, if you think for one moment, with all these clubs that are in trouble monetarily wise or whatever, some of them, he said, are hanging on by a thread. Man United are millions in debt.
Oh, billions.
But what they're doing is selling their soul for further down the road. So every time they get a loan, the money that they're paying back is hiked right up. COVID's an absolute godsend for the banks because they can close anything they're not going to get a great return on. Yeah. And I'm not being funny. I think Madrid and Barcelona are in real trouble.
Well, Steve in the chat here is saying as well, the fact that Madrid and Barca, not only have they not pulled out, they are really ramping this up and trying to push this to get people clubs back on board.
It's Perez mostly that's pushing it.
Oh,
It's not the Barcelona president. It's mostly Florentino Perez.
But obviously Barca haven't pulled out either.
Yeah. The two of them haven't pulled out, but Perez is the driving force behind it. Being how with Milan and Juve, right? They're not pulling out of it. They are not. And one thing that winds me up, right? How Milan have the audacity to claim that they should be in this Super League. They've not been in the Champions League since 2013.
I bet Zlatan
that's how embarrassing it is.
Zlatan being Zlatan.
I mean, listen. The way Milan, all right. Sure, Milan might finish second this year, but they have no right to be in a Super League because they've not been in Europe aside from the Europa League, right?
But Champions League, 7 years.
Forget the Europa League, right? Because that's not even a factor here. They've not been in the Champions League since 2013-14. And I specifically remember saying this to my mates at the time, watch what you just don't put too much hype in this Milan train for a while because this team is on the decline. And what happened? That team went on a decline like madness, bro. It happened. I watched it with my own eyes. Like, they had the likes of Balotelli, who I don't care what people tell me, he was shit for Milan both times. Both times he was shit. All right? But still, that's diverting away from the issue because you have Real Madrid nearing bankruptcy. You have Barcelona nearing bankruptcy. You have Juve in such a state right now. In fact, I'll highlight how big of how bad they are right now. Yeah. Not only are they in financial trouble, but on the pitch they're a shambles. They've appointed Pirlo as manager, who was under 23's coach for 9 days. 9 days.
Literally.
Right? And now they're looking to replace Icardi or replace Morata with Icardi. That just tells you everything you need to know about that club. And Milan have had this thing where they appoint ex-players and think it'll work, and it never does. And I'm supposed to be surprised when it flops like a dead fish. No. I've seen this train far too many times.
Yeah, I've got to say,
again, they shouldn't be near this thing, but that's by the by. The Super League shouldn't be happening. Warren's right in the sense that this will come back. 100%. No doubt about it. Because all money men are interested in is that. That's all they're interested in. That's all they give a fuck about. If COVID lasted for the next 10 years, would they give a fuck? I doubt it. No. I doubt it. I don't think they would. I think they'd be like, no fans in the stadium, but we're still getting the money.
Yeah, pay-per-view.
Okay, we can live with that.
$29.99 a game.
Yeah, that's what they did.
But because I think the protests are still going, and because Vass was also saying you can hear a plane over the end, but it's not planes, it's Sky helicopters going round and round capturing the footage.
Yeah, and now now the police are trying to get everyone away now.
I did just see that as well, but as I was saying at the start of the stream, this can't be.
Mainly peaceful protest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been peaceful. No kicking off, no nothing. It's just
when people go out and they burn stores down, and the police don't do anything, why are they suddenly out there? You know what I mean? Knobs.
Yeah.
Not only the owners get it wrong, but what is with the police? Can they not have a single thought that look, this is a really emotive issue, just as emotive as other things? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's only football.
It's not though, because this is the mistake the club are making, and this is what wound me up so much about the fans forum last night. Yeah, they were, and it was mainly about the Baku thing, right?
That pissed me off.
You said really aside from the 90 minutes, I had a good time. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you did.
Did Arsenal fans enjoy that? I can only speak for myself, but I fucking hated that night. With a passion. It was painful. I had to go into work the next day, and I work with a Chelsea fan. Can you imagine how soul destroying that is? I'm sorry. No.
But yeah,
no.
I'm sure it's fine for me.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if you enjoyed Baku, the country, the people, the executives. I don't care. All I care about is what happened on that pitch that night. And what I witnessed on the pitch that night was a shambles from the off.
Yeah.
So stuff what you think, stuff what you wanted to do regarding that trip. I don't give a fuck. All you've done is expose yourself for the fraud that you are. You've shown your hand. Now kindly fuck off.
Now, there's another thing you were saying about the Baku experience, right? So let's take that. He enjoyed the country, and apart from the 90 minutes, this, is that, and the other. Yeah, because you were staying in 4-star, 5-star hotels, because it didn't cost you a month's wages to get out there to some people, that you could just go and stay in a lovely 5-star hotel, be waited on hand and foot, be driven to the ground, have your own executive box to watch the match from. What about the poor bastard who spent all that money to get out there? Why they held it out there in the first place is beyond me. Spent all that money to get out there, then watch the team play shit, and have all that travel all the way back. Like, if you were lucky enough to get tickets, say, for you and the missus, and the flights and the accommodation, you're probably talking the best part of your holiday for that couple of days is gone. That holiday money that you spent. It's all right for him to say, I enjoyed the country and this, that, and the other. He's got bloody millions. Arsenal fans, by and large,
easy.
don't have...
Warren, it's easy for them to say that, right? Because Warren, it's easy for them to say that, right? Because they're loaded, right?
Exactly.
The average person or the average Arsenal fan ain't loaded like they are.
No,
So
we don't have more grand to
they
throw away.
don't get it. They do not get it. They never will. They think that this club is a toy or a fucking stock that they can flip a profit on. That's what they think. Like, they're not. It's not football people involved. And
no, it's not.
To be honest, the comparison I heard this week, right? It was from a Newcastle fan, I think, right? Where he compared Stan Kroneke to Mike Ashley. And he's right in the sense. Because Mike Ashley is not a football person. I think we can all agree on that, right? He just looks at Newcastle like it's stock that he needs to flip a profit on, and that's why he's looking to get out, yeah?
Own personal advertising board.
Exactly. Yeah. He uses Newcastle to promote Sports Direct. That's it, right? Stan Kroenke does the same thing. Maybe not advertising-wise, but he uses us to fund SoFi Stadium in LA.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, we'll go one sec. Gary was in one sec. What's going on there? Oh, he'll be right back. But yeah, I was going to say, literally, this protest can't be a one-off. We've got every home game, do same numbers, same turnout, same peaceful protest, whatever. And final home game of the season at the Emirates, boycott it. Because you've got in that game, we've got the fans to have a chance to get tickets to go inside. Don't, because you're putting money in his pocket. Hit him where it hurts. Any which way you can.
Don't go to the games. Yeah. Don't go to the games, lads. Don't. Because
you know what? Blackpool did that. Blackpool did that, and it took a long while to work, but it did work.
Yeah, it worked.
All the fans,
thing is,
not all of them stopped going, but a hell of a lot did.
No, they all did. Yeah. None of them went in. They go outside the stadium and all that, but never went in. But the thing is, I think it would work. Something like that would work at Arsenal a lot quicker because we're, no disrespect to Blackpool, we have a bigger reach global wise. We get more attention attracted. Yeah. And that doesn't look on concrete.
I don't think that would work, right? Because, all right, let's say if you give up your season ticket, right? There's about
but what I'm saying
is there's loads waiting for it. So
I'm not being nasty to people in Norway, but some twat in Norway or Abu Dhabi who go and buy it.
Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam's in the chat probably going, "You what? I can't see my hard God anymore." Oh yeah. Just that tweet you mentioned before, Daniel Ek, whatever you pronounces that. He's got on Twitter. They've literally just put that up on Sky Sports that he be the fan of his life, and if Kroneke ever sells, he'll be first in line basically to put his offer in.
Right, do it. Because I would rather have rather have a football fan in charge of the club and have 100 million less.
Here's the thing,
though, for much.
This is what.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that, well, actually, not part of me, pretty much every fiber of my being thinks that ownership for a club needs to change as a whole.
Yeah.
Because there should be ownership checks.
Yeah.
For a start. But like you said on DAZN tonight, if you want to buy the club, it's going to cost you money. If the club's doing well, it's going to cost you money.
Yeah.
If the club's doing poorly, it's going to cost you money. Right? Now, I'm not saying I want like a sugar daddy owner. I'm not saying that. Right? All I'm saying is I want someone who's invested in the club. That's it. Because Stan's not invested. No. I wouldn't have a problem with him if he was invested somewhat and putting money in. I wouldn't have an issue with it, but he's not invested. Clearly, he's shown his hand this week.
Yeah,
he showed his hand.
This is as a fan base. This is what we've been waiting for 11 years for him to finally prove us right and show, as he said, show his hand. And thank 11 years, but fucking, you know what? We've got to seize the moment. As I said, do everything in our power to force the issue home that they can't rebuild the bridge and all whatever he fucking Joshy boy put out yesterday in that forum. It ain't rebuildable. It wasn't. We didn't trust him in the first place.
PR exercise. PR exercise. Trying to appease people because they know what they've done. It's fine. I mean, it was bad enough, wasn't it? Following Arsenal, bad enough. Without them doing that, because the team were inconsistent players. We're not overly happy with the manager. I'm certainly not. Never was. The investment in the team is poor, as if things weren't bad enough. And then they go and do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck are you thinking? Who's in your head advising you? Do you know what I mean? Take the dollar signs out of your eyes for a second.
You know what makes me laugh though, lads, yeah? The fact that Stan Kroneke took $3 million at the club for advisory fees. Yeah, all right. I wouldn't take his. Who are you advising, bruv?
Yeah, who's advising him? Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, and to be honest with you, he's a coward because he sent his son to face the wolves. Like, that's just a dickhead move.
Gary with the MLS, man.
Yeah.
With the MLS.
Right, Gary, how you doing, mate?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Hi, buddy.
Hi, man.
But what we were in the week, but yeah, still that the parasite is still at the club, so he's got to do as I said. I think it was Stan Connamore put a tweet out yesterday saying it's down to the Arsenal because obviously Liverpool had their chance, United had their chance, did their bit and all that. We've got to step. And I said, and I put out as an Arsenal fan myself. If I know he's going to dig in, but you know what? I'm going to dig my heels in deeper and harder than ever before, and the whole fan base has to do this if we're to have a chance. It has to be now. It's literally now or never to get him out. If we don't get him out now, we never will.
No, definitely. I think the one thing that the billionaires have is time, and that's the problem. All right. As soon as we let up, it'll be summertime, and then it'll be, after the transfer window, then it'll be after the first month, after the second month. So now is a good time than ever, especially if the team continues to do, win, right? They're able to win. What happened? Yeah. What did I say?
No. Someone in the comment, Cheddar's in the comment.
I just see that as well. I didn't want to point it out, but fuck it.
I can't put that out, but yeah. Anyone that's in the chat, you're
Cheddars, I love you, bro, but come on, you can't be doing that. No.
Literally, because this will be put on audio as well, Spotify and that. There's a comment in the chat that it's banter, it's a joke, but
it's
risky.
Right?
It's risky.
You can't put that on YouTube.
No.
I cannot put that on Spotify, Ryan. No. Jesus.
Oh, to be fair though, he's right.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, is he? Let's face it.
He's not wrong, but that's not the
point.
But yeah, I mean, Gary, because you're over in the States, what's the reaction been over there with this whole Super League situation and Arsenal fans in general over in the States?
I think that's the thing. I don't think it's any different than over anywhere else in the world. We're all like, no, why? No, we don't really want handouts to play against the big boys. We want our team to actually work for it because it's much. Who wants to get things? I mean, as much as you want to get things for free and not have to work, there's no fun watching a team get what they want. No, they got to go work hard for it. All right. So we all want the same thing, right?
Be another MLS, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a different structure, and they didn't want to. That's when the money starts the league, right? As opposed to the way it started everywhere else in the world, where it did make sense. The relegation promotion kind of thing, has been established for so long. You're not just going to take that out. You put a lot of money into it. You want to keep that money in there and have everybody watching, right? So that's where it's kind of hard to switch it out, especially if you look at the other leagues that were already established. There's no relegation there. You get a team, that's it. There are other levels of some of the sports, but not to the level that you see in the rest of the world, where you've got 3 and 4 levels below the primary league in whatever sport you're looking at, right? So, I think it's just a different set of different. It's different. So nobody, they don't have to be the same, right? They don't, and that's what I think. That's what the owners are trying to do. It's like, I don't even think it has anything to do with what's going on in the U.S. I think it has a lot to do with money, right? None of this has anything to do with where the owners come from.
No, you don't.
It all comes down to the having all the money basically, right? They see a lot of money out there. They want more of it. Rich get richer. That's kind of that's what's going on there. How do we get more money out of this?
Apart from Perez, obviously, whose pockets are dwindling by the minute.
Also, I saw this obviously was on the screen for anyone's listening. But I'll put something on the screen here on YouTube on the channel basically. And it's a tweet that was put from a Chelsea fan a few hours ago, about 11 minutes past 6. 11 minutes past 6. Protest for Arsenal and Chelsea, and then there's Spurs. And it's literally got a picture of from our stage protest at Arsenal, Chelsea's one, and then I think call it a protest. That lot's one. Not even a protest really. It was bloody a live concert of a few people there basically in the end. But what I found ironic, I think there was one picture I saw from that protest as well where they had a banner. An elderly fan as well, but he'd been in the club store basically beforehand and had a bag and everything. I'm like, what was the point of that?
That's the thing. They're doing it all wrong. Like, but you know what? Banner aside, right? to be honest, Chelsea fans really have no right to protest because, like, Roman's given them everything. But if they want him out because of this whole Super League thing, then I get it.
Fair enough.
I get it for that reason. But to want him out for any other reason than that would be foolish because he's given them everything. Man City, exactly the same thing. I don't know why City would want Sheikh Mansour out because
he's given them.
He's the sole reason they're successful. So really, it would be foolish on their part to protest against him.
I don't think they'll want him out either for the simple fact that he's done a heck of a lot to regenerate the area around there as well. So he's got possibly more of a legacy with doing stuff for the Manchester area. Well, I mean, what's Kroneke ever done for them?
The only thing Sheikh Mansour can be accused of is doing what he promised.
Yeah, literally.
That's the only thing he can be accused of because he's given them everything. All right, maybe signing up to a Super League wasn't such a good idea because really, if sanctions come into effect, and I think they will, because it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before that happens, in my opinion.
Well, I think the Chelsea
happens, right?
Yeah,
and the ownership and the government kind of forces the owners to sell up, or the current owners to sell up, which they can do because the government are largely in control. If they do that, Man City would have to sell the majority of their squad.
Yep.
So
I mean, big up Addy in the chat as well. It says fantastic stuff from our own fans, excellent work, and they're still out there as we speak. Apparently,
they're still going.
That shows the commitment. And that's another thing that I've been so proud of as an Arsenal fan. Of everything else that maybe it's like, this last few days has showed that we can come together as one, no matter what our differences are, what our opinions are, what is that and the other, what the fan channels is, that or whatever. We can all still come together. I mean,
it's Arsenal Football Club, isn't it? That brings us all together.
Yeah.
We all have our opinions. We all have our rows, our falling out, like any family does. But at the end of the day, the core drive right through the middle of that is Arsenal Football Club and the love for the club. And absolutely everybody, the history, even if you're not an Arsenal fan, your Eddie Hapgoods, your Drakes, your Charlie George goal against Liverpool, there is that history running right the way through.
It says something that obviously I don't know if he did tell because we won't be able to tell. Literally, there's over 2,000 odd fans there, but there was rumours going into this that Jack Wilshere was going to come down from Bournemouth to take part in these protests. And he's a current player. He's not even an ex-player. He's a current player, and he's like, no. He's putting his love for Arsenal as an Arsenal fan beyond everything else, and coming down himself and actually having a say. And he's
sat on the wall having a fag.
Yeah, Joe Hart will be alongside him as well. Yeah. Big up the Iceman as well. Yeah, well, Wenger's final game basically. Yeah, at the Emirates anyway. But yeah, there's just the fact, and it's the fact that we're still going. It's getting, for anyone who's not living in the UK, it is getting dark now out there, and they're literally still out there in their numbers. And Russ has just joined us in the chat in the stream as well. But Gary, you've got to say something while I do that.
Oh, you know, when you guys are talking, oh, look at this.
Oh, Jesus.
He said I thought you just meant in the chats. He came over here. All right. No,
bro.
When you guys were talking, the one thing, you know, I think when you're talking about the Chelseas and the cities, I mean, I guess the first thing that came to my mind is they don't really want to be associated with Arsenal and the Spurs. If they are, then that means that they're dropping in stature. Because right now we are struggling. They are struggling, and other teams they're challenging for titles, right? They're challenging for titles. So we got lumped in with them. So if the fans are upset about that, then they could be upset about that on top of the ESL thing. I mean, it's kind of the way I kind of look at it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
the ESL thing that's done, but you sort of go, is this a huge white elephant for us to accept the shit that's going to come with the new Champions League? You know, that's got to be blocked.
Well, the new rules that they're putting in are what? They're just like, you know, half-assed chances of what they were trying to do with the ESL, essentially.
Yeah,
I mean, they're still guaranteeing 2 of the top 15 teams in the league, no matter how they do it in their respective
you could be
domestic. You know, they still get a chance to play, and it's like, no, that's not the way it works. You got to, you know, like I think what is it? They said if Arsenal finished 7th. And West Ham finished 5th, or 4th, they can get bumped or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how does that work? You know,
just for a thing, if this is how crazy this idea is, right? So, say you win the Champions League, and then the next season you fall off the end of the cliff, and you get relegated. You're in the Championship, and you're playing in the Champions League. How's that work? I'm sorry.
Oh no!
Embarrassing.
So you play. I'm not being funny. You're away playing Colchester United on a Wednesday night, and then you're playing PSG in the Champions League
the following week.
Oh no!
I mean, I think the other part of this is what are the other hundreds of other teams that they're basically getting looked down upon. All right. Yeah, sure. This is where the power comes from. The rest of every domestic league that's looking at this, going, wait a second. So you're telling me, Barcelona and Real Madrid always get in no matter what I do, right? That's what they're essentially saying. No matter what West Ham, Villa does, Arsenal gets in, Spuds get in. I mean, no, that's where. So it's not only from us as fans, but those other teams are probably got to be looking at the rest of, because their owners usually stick together, right? Because it's usually the fans asking for something, and the fan and the owners kind of sometimes stick together so that, like, no, this is how we're going to do it as a league. They're splintering their own. They're splintering their own game, right? Yep. Their own association. Like, you got 20. It's not even 20 owners. It's all that. What about the owners that are coming up next year? Right, and the owners that are going to come up the year after that, they're not all just this 20 today. It's the 30, 40 teams that have a chance to make it all the way up to the first division, right? So you're breaking up your system for whatever 4 or 5 teams that don't deserve it. Like everybody else, you need to earn it on the field. Why play the game if you're just going to figure it out? And that's what ESL said. You know what? Why do you even bother playing to make it there? He will just give it to you,
and that becomes commonplace then, Gary, doesn't it? I mean, could you look at some of the teams when I was younger, some of the teams that were in the finals, I think Prague got there 1 year, not Prague, sorry, trying to think of the Red Star Belgrade,
Red Star
got there
Belgrade.
one.
Yeah.
Red Star Belgrade got there one year. But Steaua Bucharest. You had all sorts of different, and everybody had a chance to get there. Is what I'm saying. That you haven't got a chance to get there now. You're not going to see Roma got there in the 70s against Liverpool. You are not going to see Roma in a Champions League final. You're really not, because it's all set up for. I mean,
The elites.
how many different clubs have you seen in the Champions League final in the last 15 years?
Not
Paul,
How many different clubs?
Literally, Port.
Honestly, it's the same. It's the same teams year in, year out. And to be honest with you, this is
Becomes
what makes
boring.
me. This is what makes me appreciate the Leicester title win more, because the more, with everything that's gone on this past week, I appreciate that title win more and more. Now, as an Arsenal fan at the time, I fucking hated it, but when you look back at it now, it really is like something special.
But you know what? They wanted on the field, right? Everybody had a chance to catch them. Everybody had an opportunity to win a game here or there that would have made the difference in the season, which would have moved them up the table, and they all failed. I mean, they all failed. Arsenal failed.
Gary, the top six that year, right? I specifically remember this as well. This top six that year, all of them were a shambles. All of them. Not just us. Not Tottenham weren't consistent enough. Chelsea had an absolute nightmare, falling off a cliff. United were in a disarray under Van Gaal, not sure whether they wanted to sack him or keep him on. Like, you were going to sack him at one stage, lads. So make up your mind, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? But it makes me appreciate that win, because we'll never see that again. A lot of people compare it to Blackburn. For me, there's no comparison there whatsoever. Blackburn spent money that season.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, buddy.
They spent money, right? Where Leicester's side, and this is what people really need to pick up on, Leicester's side that year cost 20 million quid.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You can turn around and say, we will never see that again. But we might. We just might. Okay? Because we said that couldn't happen, but we just might. But what really annoys me about this Super League and what they're doing now is they're trying to arrange it so they make sure that we never see it again. Ever.
Yeah.
And that's why those other
like that makes football special, guys.
And that's why those other teams need to stand up as well, because they're infringing on their futures, right? They're taking. Think about this. They're saying, you know what, we're all making some money. You know, you finish top of the league, you make some money. You finish bottom of the league, you make some money. Now they're saying, you know what? No, we don't want to share. We don't want you guys to get anything. You know, the rich get richer, right? That's what they're saying. You know, we want our tax breaks. You know, that you don't get. You know, and then we're going to tell you why we're struggling. No, everybody, it's got to be equal. You know, everybody gets a chance. You know, if the players don't want to play, then they got to go. I mean, that's what you're looking at, right? So and
if you can't manage your finances, tough shit. You shouldn't pay people like Messi 52 million a year at 35 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't pay him 52 million in wages, and maybe you'd have some money to be able to buy some other players.
Yeah, I mean the best managers and coaches don't have to have the best player in the world on their team, and it's been proven at Barcelona that just having the best player in the world doesn't get you anything. What have they won? You know, they haven't won anything besides anything that's domestic for them, right? Because it takes more than just that, right? It takes a little bit more than that. You need, 11. You probably need about 15, 16 players on your team to get there, and they just didn't. They never had it, so. It comes, and that's where the Leicester thing came in, right? Because they got a new manager. The team basically needed somebody to orchestrate what they saw, and voila, the perfect season happens for them, right? Yeah, and then they let the guy go. Because
the players.
That is crazy part, right?
The players got a bit big for themselves.
That moment was bad for football in general, because that made me realize right there that no one is safe from the sack. Nobody. All right. We joked about it at the time, right? But no one would have been safe apart from Arsene Wenger. I think that was the joke that was going around at that time. But Ranieri getting sacked, I mean, I don't think any one of them would have disagreed with it. But that guy, Claudio Ranieri, should have a statue outside the King Power.
Yeah, he should,
100%. Because I don't know if Leicester will win a title again. I don't know. That's the key thing here. We don't know.
They might do under Rodgers.
It'll take a lot of money to do it again, but
you know, it comes with a lot of luck as well. Because think about it. Do you recall? I mean, I don't remember the season. I remember
they didn't have Champions League football, did they? No,
they didn't have Champions League football, but also they didn't have to deal with any kind of injuries. Significant injuries to the stars, right? You didn't hear Conte out, you didn't hear Vardy out, you didn't hear, the refrigerator out. You just didn't hear any of that. Whereas, I
don't think Harry Maguire was part of that side. I think it was Mahrez, Vardy, and Kante that won.
I thought he wasn't. Okay.
No, the thing is,
where's Morgan?
Where's Morgan? But
They didn't rotate the team.
Yeah, the fridge got bought in the summer of that winning that title. Yeah.
All right.
They didn't rotate the team though. They played the same team every single game.
Yeah. Brighton was a constant starter.
Yeah.
And that's one way to rebuild your team, right? Because like you said, you don't have European football to worry about, so you can spend all week preparing for whoever your next opponent is, come out fresh and ready to go, and then there is some luck in the games, but when you're not dealing with those extra games, all the better. I mean, we're struggling.
Like Chelsea won the league the following season.
Yeah.
They didn't have any European football. They still spent money, and then they just won the league at a canter.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the Arsenal is stretched because they're playing these extra games. Think about if we didn't. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be top, catch up to City, but we wouldn't have these 10 extra games, or not even 10. It's more than that, right? Well, whatever number in the games we had, and we would have never figured out Millsworth Row and Saka and all that because Arteta would have never played them, right? So we'd probably be in a worse situation. But I mean, if we had a different manager, maybe those guys would have been playing sooner, and we would have, noticed what's going on here with the team. But
that's the other thing that pisses me off. And they say, they're playing too much football. And they wanted this Super League to run concurrent.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
I can't play 2 games a week. Oh, poor me. 70 grand a week. Oh, I can't do it.
And to be
but it's all that travel, man. It's all that travel.
I would play 7 games a week if I was being paid that money.
For
it's the air popping, man. Your air start to pop. That's just you got to deal with that. The cramped bathrooms. I mean, wow. Talk about struggling. The food in the plastic trays. Man, just
oh
yeah.
How are you ever going to survive?
The struggle, man.
Airplane food, I was struggling. Yeah,
loving that.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, that's a really nice picture. It's almost like, is that for real? I don't care if it isn't, but it's just perfect.
Does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah, someone
looks like a scene from like Battlefield or something, but it's great.
Yeah.
You see it?
What's the matter with us?
No, it's close.
Needs to have something across the top of it saying that's Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly. Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
The meteorite.
Brownie's in the big up Brownie. He's asking how many turned up.
What's going on here now?
60,000. Have that.
I've got a stop timer to check them and win. So 60,000.
Yeah, they had to check in before they had to press a little counter when they were going up to the ground.
Oh dear. No, but
don't have that problem. Don't have that problem at Cardiff, though, do you, Brownie?
No.
10 if they're lucky.
To be fair,
where are they in the championship? Actually, no, I don't care. Fuck Cardiff.
No, but literally, to be fair, for banter purposes, literally, if Cardiff had been processed against their owners, they'd get a bigger turnout than what we saw at Tottenham. That's all I'm saying. But Tottenham are a big club.
Possibly, yeah.
So I did put it up on the screen a while ago, but Cheddar's is saying Messi image rights make more money for Barca. It makes sense to pay him.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
to a point, but if he's not performing in the pitch, then sponsorships then start pulling away
Exactly.
after the next few years as well.
If that's
He's got-
true, then
Yeah, well, he is
why don't they have a better squad to get him whatever he wants?
52
Right? I
million
mean,
a year
if you're
paying
saying
him.
you're making so much money, you can pay him 50, which means you're making what, 250 off of him, right? Or it's not worth it if you're not making 4 or 5 times the money, right?
No.
So you're making all that money. Where is that money going?
Hold on a minute. No.
Brownie,
I need to
hell of a
call
lot
this
more than
out.
300.
Oh,
No,
come on!
no,
He's just, you know what?
Brownie,
He's just
I
doing
need
that.
to
doing
call
it.
this out.
Come
I'm
on.
sorry.
You
I
know,
can't.
you guys know
no,
Brownie.
no.
You know, Brownie. All he's doing is this. He's just poking you. Don't take it. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Don't take it.
Gary, I can't not. It's me. It's me. I can't not.
Don't take the bait. He's just.
I know what he's doing.
Just ignore him. It's like a gnat, like a fly. Like just shoot.
Yeah, Brownie's just dangling the bait. He's getting
It's
over
put
the back.
in there, right there. It's like right in front of me. No.
He saw Talk Sport today and said, "You know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put something out there that's just going to wow you guys up."
Yeah.
He's just really upset that only one Cardiff fan turned up with his girlfriend Barbara.
Well, you said it, Warren, not me. You said it.
Apparently, a media spokesperson tweeted that was literally at 5.
All right,
300.
all right.
The 300 was
taking the
at
bait here,
around
right?
5 past.
I'm
5
not-
sorry.
I'm not going to take the bait here, right? But let's be honest.
He's missed a zero off of that.
The media do this, right? Because the club pay them off. It's simple as that. TalkSport did that today. You think Ray Parlour wasn't paid off? Of course he was. It's common knowledge. Like
he's got a KSE check. He's in his pocket, and he's like, "I gotta cash this out now." I did my job.
Saying this, lads, I hate saying this, but after today, what he did, I've lost all respect for Ray Parlour that I had. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, the irony is he's digging out AFTV, and like you said, he's a club ambassador. We touched. He works for the club. No matter what he says, he works for the club as a club ambassador. They pay a part of his way of life, basically.
You can deny it all he wants, but we know
that's what Robbie said, and he said, "I don't." He lied.
That's got to be a penalty. Thank you. Come on.
Numerous times.
It's a penalty. Penalty.
What are you doing?
Times,
what are you doing, Russ?
Ray Parlour has been on AFTV. So
twice. They said like 2 times he's been on there.
Yeah, but still, for someone so against
AFTV.
AFTV,
That's an awful challenge.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know,
Russ is watching the game, but we're not because we can't be arsed.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'm making fun of Russ. I'm on his. I'm with him, so I'm sorry.
You watching it as well, Gary?
Kinda, yeah.
Just in the background, but big up Neil, by the way, in the chat.
It's a penalty. Well done, penalty.
Twitter's my source. I'm keeping an eye on it through there. I'm not watching it.
I'm telling you what's happening. So there you go. You can pay me later. I want my check in the post. I want my check in the post. Come on.
Yeah,
this is better for you. I'm telling you exactly what's going on.
I went to reach out to you the other day.
Hey, TalkSport, get to hiring Russ now, yeah? You've got a money-making machine there.
No, but Neil's in the chat here on the screen. I went to reach out to you the other day on Twitter, but literally, I didn't know at the time until I spoke to Melvin afterwards. And it turns out you've been back. You're in Twitter prison as we speak.
Who is
Neil in the chat from the Purely Arsenal podcast?
I thought he was anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I went to reach out to him the other day, not knowing that. Then I spoke to Melvin, and Melvin went, "Yeah." But basically went into what.
Oh, for fucking comebacks. Oh, for jeez. VAR have given it offside now.
Of course they have.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Of course.
So I did not to get over excited. I'm not watching it because it's not sick. We'll watch it. We'll be all going, "What the fuck? Yeah, the butter."
See, this is what happens when you detach yourself from the game. You literally have no feeling towards it whatsoever.
I just don't understand
that
this
line.
VAR.
The line's at an angle. There's no way that's right.
I don't understand this VAR anymore. It's a fucking pile of shit.
The line's at like it's not even a 90-degree angle. I understand there's because you're looking at it. I mean, it just looks. It doesn't look right. You might as well not even show it.
The issue for me is one referee will say, "Oh no, I don't," and then
Let's
another
be straight
referee
here,
will be
guys.
like, "Oh yeah,
All
that's
I'm
a
gonna-
penalty."
All I'm gonna
Let's
say
be
is
straight here, guys.
Fuck it
Let's
off.
be straight.
Pile of
we're being
shit.
punished.
It's not VAR. It's the people who are working it.
Oh, of course, that's what we're saying.
The people who are working it. The picture doesn't change. The image doesn't change. It's just the idiots making the decisions on the end of it.
Yeah.
If you're an inch offside, let's go back when it made nice and simple for the likes of me. Clear daylight. Boom. Done.
Yeah.
Done. But yeah, back to the matter of hand with Ray Parler.
He's 0.7 millimeters offside. Fuck off.
It's just,
Mate, we're dealing in a day
If
and
he'd
age,
been born
right,
without toes, he
armpits are
wouldn't have been offside.
That's what we're getting to now. Armpits offside. Come on.
fingernails. Backs to goal. Things like that. Oh, dear.
Shouldn't you give the advantage to the attacker though? That's what I was always told when I was.
This is what Wenger said.
I was always taught at school. It was always taught at school.
You forget it's not when you have a red shirt with an A on it. That's how it works.
Right? This is the mistake you're making. Russ, this is the mistake you're making, right? You're applying common sense and logic where people don't apply common sense and logic. So, it's just that,
Oh no, mate, but it's just a nice. Every single game we have some decision that just is true. And Sam will say, "Oh no, it's not," but it is.
No, but true. What a coincidence! What a coincidence that is that camera's at an angle in a week where we're one of the 6 clubs that have caused hell, basically. But who's paying for it? We are.
We'll pay for it for years, mate.
As in the fan base itself and the people that are not involved. The people that have run this and pushed this ahead, this fucking ESL, well, you can't punish them. It was like Graham Souness was saying earlier. Whatever punishment you sort of put towards the owners, they're going to put back on the fans anyway. If it's a fine, points deduction, it hits the fans.
The only thing you can do is a blackball. The only thing you do, or you just relegate them, but I'm not sure you can do that. We just relegate them down to the bloody issue.
The only difference is, right, as to why they would do it to Blackpool and why they won't do it to the top 6 clubs, or at least I don't think they will, in my opinion, right, is because Sky and most importantly, the Premier League know that's their money-making machine.
Yeah.
And that's what will stop them from doing it.
Yeah, no one wants to watch Burnley versus Palace.
No one, because when you look at the games lower down the league, does anyone really give a fuck about Newcastle, Aston Villa? Really? You're not tuning in for them games. You're tuning in for United, Chelsea. You're tuning in for Arsenal, Tottenham, City, United, Liverpool, United. Simple as that. That's why they won't. That's why they won't come down hard on them.
But what they can do is, since they were going to do it as a European Super League, what they can do is boot them out of Europe for a year or 2.
That would work.
Matter to us. We won't be in Europe next season.
No, I know. But that's
actually, I take issue with that because if we win Europa, yes, we will.
Wow, what's the chances of that?
But if it's over 2 or 3 years, if you go, right, 3 years, no European competition, how many's going to hang around then?
Yeah, but then UEFA will have to do the same. They'll have to do the same for Barcelona, Real Madrid. They won't do it, though.
They won't.
No, I don't think they will. But there's enough kudos in there. With your Bayern Munichs and your PSGs. I don't have a problem with us being punished for what's gone on.
Fuck's sake.
Neil in the chat as well saying.
All I'm saying is, Warren, is that they won't do. Besides that, we all know the Premier League has no balls anyway. I mean, let's be honest. Newcastle would be owned under the Saudis if the Premier League hadn't blocked it.
Yeah, they'd be winning the Premier League at the moment, wouldn't they, if that had happened?
Well, they wouldn't have won the league, but they would have had new ownership. They would have had new ownership for sure.
I hope they would have kept Steve Bruce though.
Yes, Neil in the chat saying, get the owner to pay us unlimited funds for transfers for the next few windows from their own pockets. Punish the bastard that way. That's the only way you're going to hit them.
I've got a novel one for you, Ryan. Let's have a ballot from all the fans, for 1 year. So you don't ban them from anything in Europe or anything else, but you have a ballot system where every fan's name goes in the hat for a season ticket, and those twats have got to pay for them. Every single club that's done it, every single person who supports that club, who goes to the ground every week or whatever, they get a season ticket free, and those twats pay for it.
Well, here's an idea. Here's an idea, and I've mentioned this before, right? The government get involved and force the owners of those clubs in England to sell up, which they can do. They can do legally, because I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. They can't do that. Yes, they can. The government own the country. You tell me
they can actually make it. They can pass into law. It's illegal for a foreign national.
If they pass a law, it's gospel. So don't tell me they can't do it.
If it can be done in Germany, it can be done anywhere.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know what they did in Germany? Do you know exactly what's in their thing?
51% thing on about,
yeah. But no foreign investor. The total amount of foreign investment that doesn't lie with the fans can only stand at 48.7%. That's it.
I'd be done with that.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd love that. 48.7% outside investment. The rest of it has to be owned by the fans of the club.
Fans,
yeah. And besides that, we don't with the fan ownership, right? Because let's be honest, all consortiums are shady, even the ones that sound good on paper, right? But the truth is, these guys don't need to own majority share. Nope. We should have a system in the UK where foreign investors are only allowed 48.7, 49%, right?
Yep.
But I don't see why we can't. If the government push it as a law, then clubs will have to abide by it.
Well,
Leicester City are the exception because they have paid all the debts off. They give the fans free stuff.
Yeah.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
And they build a good football team. You ask any Leicester fan, they'll probably tell you that the team they've got now is the best team they've had in decades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just a tad. Sorry, Oh my god! I'm literally looking at the so-called offside. It's meant to be Pepe.
It's bullshit, isn't it?
It's meant to be Pepe with his sleeve, but it's level with the left centre back, or right centre back.
Go back to it. This offside nonsense is nonsense. Do you know what I honestly think you should have? Right, so you've got the referee making the decisions. Leave it with the on-field referees. For all decisions, you can have one challenge each. If it's a correct challenge, you keep it. If you spuriously use it and you make a challenge and it doesn't turn out in your favour, you lose it. You've got no more challenges. End of.
Yeah.
So it cuts the VAR use down to a minimum and still leaves it the on-field decision with the ref.
Yeah, literally, someone took a still photo, literally, of the so-called offside. I'm sorry, he is level from the angle that went.
That's why I went mad. As I say, you give it to the advantage of the attacker.
But he's level. How's he offside if he's level, though? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Mate, no part of his body that can score is offside. So
sorry, he was born with toes, like I said earlier. Oh, sorry.
How are you giving an offside when it's the fucking shirt that's over the line?
You don't score a goal with your arm.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, going back to
I think what's weird is they
whack it, but like
I feel like they take the closest part of the offensive side for one side, and then some weird whatever part of the body on the other player to make it go whichever way they want, right? To override it or to confirm it or whatever, because it doesn't make sense sometimes. If you saw them when they were lining it up, you could see that it was at an angle, and it just doesn't even look right when you see that. You're like, well, you know what? You can't do VAR if it looks like that, because it just and then you show it to us. I mean, I understand. I want to see it, but that doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to me at all. I mean, you got to have better camera angles for this to work, right?
Yeah.
Got to have better I mean, it just doesn't. Yeah, it didn't look right to me when we saw them lining it up, because it looked like it was at an angle pointing away from the defender, and you're like, okay, that makes sense to me, anyways.
What League One are apparently going to be doing is they're going to be miking up the referees so the fans can actually hear what they're saying in the crowd. Now, that would be a good step forward.
Yeah, great thing. You'll get some shots.
But that shouldn't be the end of it, because PGMOL are corrupt to the core. They're the ones that are running that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're the ones that are corrupt. So even if you have the referees mic'd up, which I wholeheartedly agree that they should be mic'd up,
I'm fine with that. Yep.
You're not going to see change until you've got a different governing body in charge.
They have, they already have mics. They have mics right now, so it's not even a case of being mic'd up. It's just turning it on. Right? Looking at switch that says,
I know they do, but until you have a different governing body in charge, you're not going to see different. Yeah. I'm still adamant of the fact that Arsenal should sue them mugs.
Well, I think in general, I don't know what owner or what team is happy with the way VAR is implemented. And this is where you say Arsenal fans are splintered. It's probably the same way with the owners. Why don't they want to get the game right? VAR is killing their sport, and they don't care, right?
Costing the money as well.
Yeah,
Gary,
and it's costing you money. Look, think about it. Villa should not even be playing this year.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right.
Some technology broke, and they got an extra. What 2 points? 2 points they needed. Voila.
That's the point they need. Yeah. The point.
There you go, Gary. This is how bad it is, right? And I take all your points about VAR, but you're absolutely right that it's as corrupt as you like at the very top, because earlier on in the season, I don't think who it was, but I think it was a Sheffield United. It was a Sheffield United goalkeeper got absolutely shinned by a player following through on him. Okay, now every single referee, when you start out, is told various things, but one of the main tenets that people get wrong, that players get wrong, that referees adhere to, is it's not about whether you got the ball, it's about how you tackle. Okay, that's one of the referee's mantras, if you like. Okay, and yet when that Sheffield United goalkeeper got done at the start of the season, midway through the season, when he got smashed in the leg by the forward charging through, I think it was West Brom, came charging through, absolutely cleaned out the goalkeeper. But because he got a tiny little bit of the ball, they were asked why they didn't send him off when they sent it to VAR. Why didn't you send him off? They turned around and said, because he got a bit of the ball. That is absolute nonsense. There is not one referee on a Saturday going out there that is saying he got a bit of the ball. Not one. So that shows you how corrupt it is, because they come out with something that referees absolutely deny right from the word go.
Also this season, was it the Jordan Pickford on Van Dijk situation? That was even as a neutral, that's a straight red. That's a straight red. But the whole situation was, Van Dijk was offside in the build-up. So it still continues.
Doesn't matter if he's offside.
The game still continues.
I mean, basically, when I saw that, to me, that just meant that if you punt somebody after they were offsides, it doesn't count.
Yeah. So here you go, Gary.
Ball's not in play, so it's fine.
Here you go, guys. The penalty's taken. The ball's nestling in the back of the net because they've just scored, and the centre back runs up that gave the penalty away because he thinks matey boy died, punches him in the face, and he goes down. No card, no.
Yeah, because the play's dead, right? Once the play's dead, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. And you know what? The at least in the States, and like when I refereed like basketball, the one thing they told you is you need to control your game. So if that means you need to give a penalty, a technical, whatever, then you need to do that because you need to control your game. So if you see something like going on, you should be able to pull the card out. And if somebody goes, well, it's not a rule. No, this is you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Stop it. Here's your yellow card, or here's your red card because I know exactly why you did that. Right? I'm watching this game. I'm watching it the whole time. And that's when you, as a referee, you have control because it's your game. You're letting your game get out of control, and the only person that can control it is you. Exactly. That's why the VAR. That's why the VAR going up to listening to somebody up in your ear tell you how the game's going makes no sense, right? It should be only one person making a decision, and it's the guy in the middle of the pitch.
Yep.
And he's the only one that can make. Even if he goes and looks at a video, he's the only one that can. And they don't have to tell him what they think. They just have to tell him, you need to look at this because I think you missed something. And he looks at it and goes, you know what? I did. And let's fix it, right? Yep. And if I feel like I don't want to do that, I don't have to. And then I can justify it to my superiors and go from there.
But the only one, same as they do in cricket, mate. Only the absolute howlers get overturned. That's it. Yeah. If it's too close to call one way or the other, carry on with the on-field decision. You
don't need a ruler to figure out offsides. It should be pretty clear. Yeah. Right, clear and obvious is what they say. It's not clear and obvious if it's a toenail. That's not clear and obvious. Right?
Exactly. Also, the NFL, they've got it bang on as well. They do.
And there's no referees on the field going up in that box. It's often in a totally different city. They have all the cameras, all the angles, and they look at it there, right? So you don't have a referee who was refereeing yesterday and then today is up in a box looking at some videos. There's no way that doesn't smell of like, it smells like something, right? It smells like, so there's no way it doesn't even smell right. Yeah? There's something about it. It doesn't smell right.
Another thing with VAR, right? If you notice, they do add extra stoppages as well. That's another thing. That's another thing they should do. If there's VAR checks on an important decision, and this is what winds me up as well, they use it for everything. You don't need to use it for everything. Use it for the decisions that aren't like clear and obvious.
Yeah,
that's
it. Very, very simply, you leave all the decisions for the on-field umpires, for the on-field refs. You get one challenge. And if it's spurious, if you use that challenge and it turns out to be a bad challenge and the referee was completely right, you lose it, you got none left. If it turns out that it was a dodgy penalty and it shouldn't have been a penalty, gets overturned, you've still got that one left. Simple as that. So you've got to be judicious and sensible about when you use it. You can't use it for every 5 seconds. And you're not stopping the game every 5 seconds. Because whatever happened on the pitch, whatever happened on the pitch, if you use that review and then you get denied an obvious penalty, tough shit.
Yeah. And besides that, if a referee gets something wrong, or it looks like they get something wrong, the VAR check it, and nothing's wrong with it. Then, that's the VAR check done right there. Like, you don't need to check. You don't need to use VAR for everything.
Nope.
Like that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry it is. Using VAR for simple decisions, like knowing what the offside rule. I'm sorry. How do these people like use VAR and they don't know what the offside rule is?
Frankie.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's baffling, man. It's baffling.
It should be clear and obvious daylight. Everybody knew where they were with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, they'll use it for fucking everything because they just don't know the rules at all.
And you know the worst thing about it as well is because it gets people's backs up even more. is they carry on till the goal is scored, and then they go back and have a look.
Because you see that, and that's lazy, right? So now you're saying, I've got VAR, so I don't have to do my job anymore.
That's the one.
I don't have to do my job anymore.
They're told, keep the flag down, and we'll go back and check it later.
That doesn't make any. That doesn't. No, not the way. Not in this type of game. Not in this type of game, right?
That's stupid beyond belief.
Because then what happens when you get a red card, a yellow card, a PK? The play was dead, though. It's offside, so you're not supposed to know. You count that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That card came out.
Yep.
That card came out, so the card counts. It doesn't. You don't pull it back in, right? Because it was an offsides on a play that should have never happened.
Yep.
That's where you're killing your sport, right? If you call it offside, you call offside. If you think it's onside, you keep it down, and then if somebody else decides it, go that way. But they should play their game. That's why you gotta.
Do you want me to blow your mind with how absolutely stupid these rules are? Now, when you used to get foul and abusive language, sometimes it'd be a yellow depending on what they said. With me, it's the 2 C words. If you use the 2 C words, one of them to cheat, you get a red card. Yeah, straight away. No question whatsoever. Now, what they have, here's the thing, local referee level. Yep. Here you go. So they now have a thing called a sin bin. So you offer a card and you point to the touchline with a yellow to say that they've gone in the sin bin for 10 minutes. Okay? So they can't bring a player on for that 10 minutes. Got it?
Yeah.
So then what happens is the player returns, and if he gets another yellow card, if he gets another sin bin, he can go off, but he doesn't take any further part in the game, but you can bring a substitute on to replace him. However, get this, if he gets a sin bin, then he gets a yellow card for a tackle, then he gets another sin bin, he's off the park as a red card, and you can't bring another player on. And they get even this, if a goalkeeper gets a sin bin, then when his 10 minutes is up, he can come back onto the field to play, but he can't go back in goal until there's a stoppage in play. Look, all your
that makes no sense. Like, that makes zero sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's what we have to contend with. You could imagine if this lot were doing that in the Prem.
Oh, God. Don't even.
They can't get the normal decisions right. Imagine if they had to come and do one of our games.
Thank you in the chat. Sorry, thank you in the chat saying VAR was supposed to be implemented for clear and obvious mistakes only.
Yes. And it's been used to protect referees.
Just had a notification come through. Guess who's losing 1-0?
Us.
Yep. Let's go on to the notification. Might be offside. I don't know. Russ will know more than me. I don't know.
It's not offside.
What a shock. It's Bernd Leno. Who's at fault?
No, it's not offside. I don't think.
How many times is he going to get beat on the short side? On the short side. How many times is he going to get beat on the short side?
Fucking VAR again.
God, that's Taibbi cast. He's got Renaissance disease.
That's the third time he's got beaten on the short side.
How many times have I told you we need a new goalkeeper?
Why not?
How many times?
I've been saying recently, Colin, literally go chase him down. The guy,
if this gets given offside,
of armor. So bloody.
Well, from what I understand, Donnarumma's not been offered a new contract yet.
That's what I'm saying. He's a free agent.
That's onside.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent come June, mate. He's a free agent come June.
Right between his legs. How in the world? This is our number one goalkeeper, right?
Well, how many times have we been saying with all, especially Ryan and myself, Matt Ryan? We wanted him to start.
Russ, cue it up. Let's go. Russ, come on. Don't leave me hanging. Russ, don't leave me hanging.
Come on, bro.
Russ, don't leave me hanging.
He knows he wants to as well.
He needs. Come on,
Russ. Russ, come on, Russ.
Come on.
Come on, man.
He's
Don't make me beg.
Yeah, I know. No, that would. I don't know. I just.
This is. Do you know what? Right. This is where I take reservation with the fact that, that we had to sell Martinez. Wrong. We didn't have to sell Martinez. Right.
Fucking what is he doing there?
The fact of the matter is,
football, then.
the fact of the matter is, the club had an offer coming from Martinez of 20 million. Now the club didn't have to accept it, right? But they thought, we bought Leno for this amount of money, we have to recoup some of that. So they let the better keeper go because they're too stubborn to, take a loss on a player. We've been taking losses on players for a long time. In fact, if I remember correctly, we got next to nothing for Socrates. We got next to nothing for Mustafi. We got next to nothing for Kolasinac. What is the difference if we get next to nothing on Leno? What is the difference there? I don't understand. Like,
Kolasinac coming back. Do you know that Schalke got relegated, so he's coming back on his loan?
Yeah.
Well, can we have him back now because we haven't got a left back?
And you wonder why I didn't want to. You wonder why I didn't want to watch the game tonight, lads. Yeah. You wonder why.
Same here.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Being stress-free.
Why do they keep playing players that have mistakes in them?
You watch. Parts of the media side of Arsenal go, well, it's the fans' fault for doing what they did. They put the players off.
Oh, bore off with that. They can bore off with that.
We had 3 defenders back there, 3 defenders and a goalkeeper. They had 1 player.
Notice how
one. That's it. Just the one.
Notice how wasn't a shot on target.
This is what I mean with the squad shit.
It's coming on now.
William's coming on because you know what? William's coming on. He's got to be. You know what? Arteta's like, you know what, guys? I'm poking you.
What is he thinking?
I'm just got the screwdriver in and I'm turning it.
But you notice how Xhaka.
William's got to make his 75%.
This is what I mean when I say the squad is shit, lads. This is what I'm on about. Like,
bring your William on now.
Arteta might not be the guy, but it's not gonna matter until these players are gone. They're shit.
The owner.
But don't bring them on. Don't play them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're shit. I totally agree that they're shit.
I'm not disagreeing with you,
It's like getting Harold Shipman to give you your COVID jab.
Oh my God, he went there.
Oh my God, you went there.
It's a disaster.
To be fair, that was tainted what we saw earlier in the chat, Colin, to be honest.
Honestly, it makes no sense.
Oh dear. No, I'm just.
Here's the thing. There's something in the comments as well. Here's the thing, Frankie. Right? It looks good on the eye, but in reality, it's not, bro.
No. But it doesn't. It's not good because up top you got Eddie, who's played 1 game in 2 months, and the other 2 games in the games he did play, he was terrible in playing for England. So
here's the thing, Gary. Yeah.
Let me just go through it. When I say
it looks good on the eye,
that's not good on the eye.
I don't mean to us.
Looks good on the eye.
I don't mean to us, right? On paper, it looks good on the eye, but in reality, it ain't.
No.
Yeah. I always say Arteta likes to surprise us, and he did a good job. Eddie at the top meant nothing. I don't think not for me, anyways.
No,
not for me. Ceballos with Partey, no. Yeah.
But I was going to say, notice in that goal, Granit Xhaka gets done once and then backs off and lets the centre back deal with it.
That's what he does all the time. You see, anytime he's on the ball and he gets beat, he never sprints back like he's got a care in the world to make a stop.
Here he comes. Here comes the saviour.
Think about
he has one good game, right, with Granit Xhaka, right?
But he's not a left back, is he?
I know he's not a left back, Ross. Yeah, but
this was a goalkeeper's fault. That's the goalkeeper's fault.
Yeah,
Arsenal fans are
the ball was going away from the goal.
Yeah, love football, hate KSC in the chat says Leno has brought Leno was bought for 25 mil. We sold Martinez for 25 mil.
Yeah.
He was from the academy. Zero money we paid for him. Profit. Money, greed, the KFC way. Yeah, so they made their money back by selling the wrong goalkeeper.
So what's a KFC?
No KFC, like Kroneke Sports Entertainment.
I'm hungry. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well,
I wish you would.
Well, Ross? Here's a question for you. Would you trust Stan to deliver your KFC, or would you fuck him off?
I've never seen him. I'd never get it.
Man.
And Jonathan, you need to behave yourself in the chat. None of this slander in the chat. The Brazilian maestro, Woody answered the rescue.
If he scores
I
today,
want you to go, son.
Vino should have resigned by now.
Yeah,
First you got to cross
He should've been the
the
first
midline.
he had any morals.
If you get more than one touch on across the midline, maybe, but that's a big maybe.
Yeah, Vina is going nowhere. The fact he hasn't gone so far in a couple of
No.
forms with Josh Kroneke.
He will, right? Because what will happen is the government will put something in place where all club executives have to resign. That will happen. It may not. It's not happened as of yet, but it will happen down the line. It will.
Who's got a cat?
It's Ryan's pussy.
Oh my god!
Really, Ross?
It makes noises. I think you need to get that checked.
Yeah, get some
need to
oil
get
on it at least.
He's in bits now. He is.
Oh my god!
Jesus,
Only on my channel this that.
You need to oil that up, I think, Ryan.
Yeah.
Over here we got WD-40. I don't know what they got over there.
It's got a puncture.
Oh fucking hell!
The deluxe is the one with the real hair.
Frankie says in the chat as well, Arsenal need a strong board because the owner doesn't know enough about. Well, even if you had a board that knows, he doesn't care. This is the thing; he does
doesn't know
not
anything
care.
about football, let alone English football.
He won't know what the score is, mate. He won't have a
No.
clue. They don't give a shit.
What done me in this yesterday? That fan forum yesterday at the end, when Josh was like, "We have big plans for the summer. We're going to spend big."
It's all words. Fuck them off.
I know, but what's it? But no self-sustaining model can do every transfer window spend after spend, big massive spending. The model we're going for, like, well, basically you're just saying you're just PRing again. Like, people were sort of buying it. I was like, no. He said this before. He said this time and time again. If it's not him, it's his fucking dad. Enough is enough. They have to fuck off.
I'm going to borrow Ross's line here, but maybe they need more time, and maybe the money that they've got. Maybe the money that they've got, they're going to go big and give Willian an even bigger contract.
Yeah. Hey, Warren, I think you're going to get a call in a couple minutes from an attorney. I say pay it because next you're going to get a knock at the door.
He's going to get a check from the post. That's what he's getting.
Out for a job with Stan.
Yeah.
I say it's Russ's attorney coming in because you can't just blurt out whatever you want. This isn't that kind of country. This isn't the kind of world.
Those are trademarks. You can't use things like that.
I mean, Jonathan in the chat, Liverpool fan in the chat. I mean, Jonathan, from your perspective, because obviously you're involved in this whole fucking Super League bollocks as well, your team. Did you buy the apology from your owner? At least your owner had the front to actually own the situation.
He actually got in front of the video and did something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Still a businessman.
Done more than what Stan's done.
Yeah, exactly. And then sent Love Football.
I do think with John Henry though, right? I don't know, but I would imagine that Liverpool fans may cut him some slack because of the fact of the success that they've had recently. I don't know. Maybe John in the chat will tell me otherwise, but like
I got to say, I worked up there for 5 years, and Liverpool fans, I'll tell you what, if they hadn't come out and have apologised and they'd have tried to go through with it, they'd have burnt the bloody stadium down. I remember what it was like when Gerrard was going to go to Chelsea. But they had his shirt outside the stands. They were burning replica shirts a lot. We were having a bonfire. It can get quite heated up there.
No, they got nothing else to do, have they?
Yeah, football. Yeah, I love football in the chat says true. Standard living KFC, you would never see it.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I would have paid for it, but I wouldn't have got anything.
He probably would have. Like,
You
he
do
probably
have to
would
give
have
them-
taken it on the like car drive down.
Yeah, and
You've
then
got to
Cheddar's
give the Liverpool fans a huge amount of clout because they were the first ones really to have a massive protest, and the rest of us, when we got home from work, decided we're going to do that.
yeah. Well, technically, it was my idea because I did a live stream. It was all going off. I said, "Do protest."
the only
and 10
reason
minutes later,
Liverpool
protests were planned.
The only reason Liverpool fans did it first is because none of them had to go to work.
Yeah, I'm not going to go near that one. But anyway, Cheddar's in the chat says, if you look at J.W. Henry's glasses, you could see the auto cue. I've heard about this as well, but it's still, he still came out of the camera and said something though. Our guy hides behind his own son.
The coward that he is. He basically used his own family as a meat shield.
Yeah,
that's what he did. That's what he did. Like,
how much of a busy?
I don't know if this is true, but I think there is a stipulation that he can't be as associated with the team as you want him to be because of I don't know, it's the NFL or whatever it is. So that's why Josh is basically front and center all the times because Stan can't be seen as running the team as which is good and bad. It's bad because they don't have the right people running it in the first place. So now it is his money. So, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing. That's the reason why we see Josh all the time. I think it's because Stan can't associate with the team. He's an NFL owner, and I don't believe you can have a foreign team on your roster.
Yeah, so
which makes you wonder why in the world would you go out and do that?
Yeah. And Jonathan in chat says it's an iffy one for him. He says on the fence, I want him out, but there is a very slight chance to win back the credit. Obviously, I'm assuming he means if they obviously came back next season and contested and backed the manager and contested for titles and things like that.
That slight chance, no doubt, is from them winning the league last year.
Yeah,
and then competing in Europe. That's a slight chance there, right?
We've never won anything under Stan. We never competed.
No. Stan's done nothing like that, which is why the situations are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what they come out with, right? All of them, and I mean Josh as well. I mean Vinay, I mean Stan, all of them. Anyone associated with KSC, right? I want you nowhere near my club. I want you to fuck off to America again. And you know what else? I want you to suffer for all the years that you have insulted the intelligence of Arsenal fans. Having Mikel Arteta come out in a press conference and saying we're going to win the Champions League inside 3 seasons. That is not happening, bro. It's not happening. You've taken us for granted for far too long. You've thought, oh, it's a London club. It's in London, nice city, makes some good money, with sponsorships and all the rest of it. I'll cream off the top and be all right with it. Nah. If today has proved anything, it's that fans have a voice and we're not going to stay quiet. You watch. It's going to get a lot more volatile until they're gone. Believe me, it will.
Yeah, and that's stuff. I think this is hopefully, as I said, this ain't going to be a one-off process. This has got to be the start of the beginning of the end. Basically, we've got to keep putting the pressure on because the more we do this, the more media coverage it gets, the more it doesn't look good on him, and he just thinks, "Fuck it, you know what? I will put the club up for sale."
Then I'll be so shit, isn't
he? Actually, a question to Jonathan in the chat: do you think the fact that Liverpool getting the Kroneke deal wrapped up today is a PR move from them to kind of get the fans back in good books with them?
That's a good question, actually.
I'll tell you what, whether it's a PR stunt or not, we're talking Ibrahim Kroneke here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking about him, yeah.
I rate the guy highly. I am so looking forward to him coming. Let Holding go. We let half of them go.
Jonathan saying absolutely.
Yeah, I can see why I would think that. Yeah.
Yeah, and should have just asking, did you get him today?
You did. Fabrizio Romano confirmed it.
Well, in that case, I am over the moon with that signing. I've seen him play, and he is absolutely. I think he's a cracking centre off.
Yeah, this is for why not sentiment. The whole Kroneke and not being able to own is totally different than the Glazers. I don't think they own an NFL team. I think it's the NFL. I don't think it's the Bucks, which is the NBA and whatnot. Yeah. So I think it's a NFL.
Leno's up for the corner. And he might throw it in their net as well.
The truth is, the Glazers didn't have the money to buy Man United in the first place. They borrowed it from other sources.
Yeah, they borrowed it. They leveraged up the club so bad, didn't they?
Yeah. And then
700 million they're in debt.
Yeah, exactly. They bought them in 2005. I think they had I can't remember the exact fee, but they've taken 1.2 billion off the debt, and they still owe 400 million or something like that. That's crackhead maths, bro. That's crackhead maths.
Yeah, football hate KSE says Lowell, the Everton chairman Uzmov, who used to be on AFC till Kroneke and the Borg blocked him. Yeah, and he also comes back and says Tampa Bay Buccaneers is who they own.
Yeah, I don't. Well, is that? I don't think that's an NBA team. Is it?
That's the NFL national football team.
Yeah, that's the NFL.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl as well? Didn't they? Buccaneers. Yeah.
Yeah, they own Tampa Bay Bucks.
Apparently that's what. Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we're literally not long. We're seconds away from full-time whistle now. Thank God. Either way, we won't even cover it. But I'm literally just watching it.
Who cares?
Just
this
fucking club. The whole fucking club is shit.
Yeah, full-time. There we go. But between now and Thursday, when we next play, we play Villarreal in Villarreal as well. Do we think Vino will be at least Vino will be gone by then? If not the club up for sale. And if the club's not up for sale, how much more do we have to do as a fan base to force the issue?
Unbelievable.
Hello. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was basically asking a question basically between now and Thursday. Do we think A, Vinay will be gone? And B, do we think the club will be up for sale? And obviously C, if not, what as a fan base what else can we do as a fan base to force the issue?
For me, you got to hit them in the pocket. Yeah. You know, if you're not paying the subscription now, I know loads of other people will. You know, like we're playing Burnley. The Burnley fans ain't gonna. But that's what's needed, really, to get those people out. You don't want to see the likes of Burnley get punished for it or whatever. But what you do want to do, if you can, is just. I know people are going to go to the games because that's human nature. But we've got to find a way to hit them in the pocket. It's the only thing they understand. Anything else, protests, egging their car, it's not going to work. They'll just buy more security. In the pocket is the only way you can hurt these people. It's the only way.
Well, it was like I said, the last game of the season, we're playing Brighton at home. By then, we're being told days before, and obviously fans will be allowed back in at a certain extent, basically.
Yeah.
I said earlier, I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I said earlier, don't. For any season ticket holders to get a chance to get a ticket for that game, or members or whatever, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't go in. Be out of all the home teams that can have their fans in, be the one that doesn't go in.
Yeah,
be the one that shows an empty stadium still. Go to the ground and all that, and go to the local pubs or whatever. Support your local pubs in the area if they're open.
Yeah.
Do
See,
your
I
protest
can't
still.
see
Do
where
your
the problem
protesting.
is.
Do your
Let's all
protesting.
go into
Don't
the
go to the
pubs.
pub
You're
shop.
right.
Yeah. Don't go do your protest before and just before kickoff and all that. A couple hours before kickoff, like done tonight. Do that. Don't go in the store, the club shop or anything, either side of the stadium.
Yeah.
As soon as about kickoff, get to the nearest. Yeah, get to the nearest pub, obviously with beer garden and all that. Malarkey,
Yeah.
and watch the
Give your
game
money
there.
to the pubs who
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
Give your money to the pubs who need it.
Because the club don't fund the pubs anymore.
No.
So it's like you might as well just What would you rather do? Would you rather go inside the stadium, watch the game, knowing you're going to get treated to a shit show, or go to the pub, watch the game, and have a laugh with your mates?
Yeah.
I know what I'd do.
Exactly. That's just the start of it, because worst case scenario, start of the season, they're still here by the skin of their teeth, still somehow. First home game, do the same thing. Do your protesting and all that. Go to the pubs. Do not go into that ground. Do not put money in his pocket.
If you look at Blackpool, they got it done. They got it done. It took them a while, but they got it done.
There's ways. It ain't gonna be as I've been saying since we pulled out of this Super League thing to do these. And I was mentioned do things like the protest today and all that. It won't be easy. It's far from it. He'll dig his heels in as always, like he did the Vusen off. But we've got to, for once, come together and dig our heels in even harder than what he is and deeper.
Yep.
Dig in.
Make a ring right round the stadium of about 10 people deep. A big ring right round the stadium. So that nobody does go in.
Yeah. But with that,
it is a home game on Thursday, right?
I think
Doesn't matter if we lose most of our home games.
No. It's not about our results.
It's all about the LCV.
It's whether we'll be on TV. That's all. If the fans do decide to go again,
we'll away this Thursday.
Okay.
And then let me have a look at Sunday. I think we're at home on Sunday. I think. An operative word. No, we're away on Sunday, and we're back at home the following Thursday. So in the meantime, you know what? In the meantime, go to the training ground then, London Kroneke. Put your message out there, because that'll get media coverage as well for away games. When it's away days and all that, in between home, we can't obviously go to the home. There's no point going to the home stadium and all that. When it's away days, not away days itself, but as in the week building up to it and afterwards and all the way up to the next home game, get your backside at Kroneke then. Send a message. Make sure that because we know, like it or not, until he's gone, we know I'll be at the Foot Colony. He'll hear it. He'll see it. Plus, again, it gets media coverage because the media then turn up. They'll get wind of it. They turn up like they've done today. Sky, BBC, they've all turned up today in their numbers to do interviews, this, that, and the other, and get the footage. They'll do the exact same thing at London Arsenal's training ground. Sorry. And then when it comes to home games, back at the Emirates, same time. Like 2 hours before 3 hours before the kickoff, get your ass there, make your voice heard, make it clear, because it's all well and good. It's all well and good. The fans done fantastic tonight doing what they did, but it can't be a one-off. If it's just a one-off, he'll just go, well, you did it once. If we
don't stand up now, right? Yeah, tonight was amazing, right? 60,000 people making their voice heard. Loved it, right? But what we can't do is ease off, because the minute we ease off, right, these fuckers, being the stubborn, horrible bastards that they are, they'll think, oh, it's not that bad.
Yep.
Like, just we have to keep going.
They've got to have it up their arse every single game.
Turn the heat up on them. I don't give a fuck if we make the Europa League final or not. Even with the Europa League final, turn the heat up on them. Go to the Emirates and on the day of the Europa League final if you have to. Do it then.
Because again,
turn the heat up on them fuckers.
because again, because it's the Europa League, it's a final as well. Again, you'll still get covered, even though the final's in Poland or whatever. You're still getting coverage because it'll be out there in the media. It'll be out there on social media. Media get hold of it. They then turn up, and then that footage they're getting gets put out for the rest of Europe and all the world to see. It doesn't look good on him. But Frankie's asking in the chat, who's the Arsenal legend mentioned? It's Ray Parlour. Basically, if you don't know, I don't know if you've got social Twitter or
Former
not.
Arsenal legend. Let's have that right.
Okay. Calm down. Basically, what it is, Frankie, Robbie from AFTV was invited on to represent as a representative of Arsenal fans. This is who they have approached, by the way, TalkSport, to talk about today's protest, head of the protest, get his thoughts on it, is he going to be there, and all that malarkey. All they did is invite him on and basically calling him a hypocrite, including Ray Parlour, by the way. How can you ever go at Stan Kroenke for making money out of a club when you do the exact same thing when we lose? That's constantly, no matter what Robbie did, it was constantly Ray Parlour digging at him.
I don't know why. I don't know why he accepted the invite in the first place. I really don't know why.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, no, because I mean, the invite wasn't to talk about what Parlour brought up. I mean, if somebody says, "Come in and talk about KSC,"
they
come and talk
deceived
about
him.
the owner.
They deceived him, 100%. 100%.
So I mean, that's where I have a problem with it. I mean, like you said, Robbie did the best he could. Trying to get him back on point. Right? He wanted to go off script as far as Robbie's concerned, even though Parlour had his own script going, which had nothing to do with it had nothing to do with ESL and the owners. And then when he calls him out on it, saying, "You know what, you're an Arsenal man," he's like, "No." He still has association with the team, right?
Yeah,
he
definitely has.
You know as well as I do, Gary, right? That script he had was written by the club. You know that as well. You know that as well as I do.
I mean, the only problem is they're going after all of us because all of us are in some, like 90%. I have no doubt that a lot of Arsenal fans get a lot of some information that they want from YouTube. So you go after the biggest YouTube, group out there, right? As far as I'm concerned. So now you're just basically saying, "Want to go after all of you?" It doesn't look good when you go after the biggest one, because now that just means when you don't go after United and you don't go after the Liverpool YouTubers and do the exact same thing, then you got a problem because they all do the same thing. They all have people on there or themselves that when they lose, we're laughing at those videos, right? Everybody is, right? You're laughing when you see one
punching.
For anyone that's going to be listening to this back, by the way,
whoever voted yes,
Russ's comment is going to be explained now. Russ's comment there, it will be explained as we speak. Basically, I was letting Gary finish what he had to say, but I put a poll out about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Basically, asked, do you want Stan Kroenke to remain at Arsenal as the owner? #Kroenke out. And they had 3 options: yes, hell no, hell fucking no. 80 votes so far.
I voted hell fucking no, just saying.
So you're not the one person, basically. 15 hours left, 80 votes. So if you've got social media, go over there now and put your vote in as well. Obviously, an Arsenal fan, if you don't go there if you're a rival fans for a joke, don't. But one person, it does seem
that was 100% was a rival fan.
It's got to be because literally it's one person. It's one, probably Brownie actually. Yeah,
it's four. What do you mean? It's 4 people.
5%.
Yeah, and 10% is 8, so 5% is 4. There's 4 people that said yes. Right?
It was Cheddars. He did it.
It's all your friends that don't like you. Brownie. Think about it. Brownie definitely's got a yes in there. Definitely.
Dickhead.
They want to see you squirm. They want to see you like, this doesn't feel right.
God forbid with an owner like Roman Abramovich or the Man City owners actually put money into the club and actually care about the fucking club. Yeah. Just voting now, you cheeky bastard. So that's probably gone up now. But basically, at the time of me putting this up on the screen, hell fucking no has 80% of the vote. Hell no has 15% of the vote. and a 5%. I'm going to double refresh this now because of that vote that Cheddar's just put in himself. So let's see, it got up to probably 7% now. Or something ridiculous like that.
Maybe.
No, it's still the same.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I couldn't get it away from it. I had to figure out, like, the Tampa Bay Bucks and FSG, as far as I'm concerned, don't have any kind of correlation to me. So I guess I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So this is more for why not sentiment, but I was just like, I don't think they're related, but yeah, FSG doesn't have any NFL association at all. But sorry about that. That was just me kind of not giving up.
But basically, yeah, if you haven't already, go over there. They've got 15 hours left to vote.
Now your colours to the mask, Gary, go on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to say really. The whole point of this was basically to be not doing a watch. We didn't really do a watch. So we obviously the came up, so we all talked about it and the VAR and this, that, and the other. But coverage of the game, we didn't give. As I said, next week, watch-alongs will be back for the Europa League. If there's any point, I don't know. But I couldn't. Literally, I didn't feel the need or want to do.
I don't even know if I'm going to watch another game this season. Like, what's the point?
Well, if you
think about how they play,
same point.
Yeah, think about how they played today. Outside of Martin,
but that'd be our fault.
That's the only player that's going to make a difference.
Gary, it's Arsenal. It'd be the Arsenal fans' fault for turning up outside and protesting against the owner. It'd be our fault, remember?
Well, do you know what? Right, this is what really does piss me off as well. Right, though, today should have fired those players up. If anything else, it didn't.
Yeah. No,
like I'm just
not even today, but like the last game, they're not draw 1-1. You know, they're not 1-1 with Fulham at home, right? That's not. That's not where we are. That's not our level.
Honestly,
where's
Gary,
Fulham Where's Fulham in the table?
Here's the thing,
right?
Gary, yeah. Last weekend, I did not watch the Fulham game. I listened to it over 5 Live on my phone using my 4G because I was out with like family and stuff and visiting my nephew. Yeah. And honest to God, I had a much better time doing that than even the thought of watching that game. And to be honest with you, I switched off 5 Live like halfway through it because it was just meh.
I think with 20 minutes left in the game, I think we're all right. I guess we're going to lose this because you know what? Even if we draw it, what does that say about us? It meant absolutely nothing. If we draw them, I meant absolutely nothing. It's like a loss.
Honest to God, Gary, I'm not going to watch a single game for the rest of the season.
I'm not that strong. I guess I'm going to watch them
because these owners, right? If they had said if they had come out and done what John Henry did and apologized, I'd have been like,
but you know what? No, it's a totally different ownership.
I know,
relationship.
I know, Gary, right? But the point I'm making is, at least if they had fronted it, not in the way they did, but
owned
in the
it
sense,
somewhat, yeah.
But owned up to it. And I'm not talking Josh here. I'm talking Stan here. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he had owned it, I would have been like, okay. At least that I'll watch the games then because I know he even though it's half-hearted and I know he doesn't mean it, right? At least he's done something, right? What they've done, right? What they have done is tarnished the whole season. They have thrown Arteta under the bus to the point where the Europa League means absolutely nothing to me now. I don't care if we get Champions League because, quite frankly, we don't deserve to be in it as far as I'm concerned. They've ruined the Premier League season by not backing him in his first window properly. I don't care what anyone says. Getting Gabriel and Partey is not enough. You need to do more. Yeah. You need to do more. You can't just do that and then go, oh, you know what? We'll just stop there and be fine with it. No, that's not going to fly with me. So right off the bat, you've ruined the Premier League season because you didn't back him properly. You've ruined the Europa League because ultimately you've showed your hand with the Super League, and then you've tried to put out a PR stunt with the fans forum that, quite frankly, was a disgrace. And then you've had all sorts of media outlets, the likes of Ray Parlour and them lot, come out and try and deflect the attention to other stuff, which was bollocks, and you shouldn't have tried it. Ian Wright, he's the only one I've seen that has a backbone.
Yeah. Big up to Ian Wright, Martin Keown, David Seaman, Tony Adams, Lee Dixon.
The rest of the season, you will not see me watch one more game this season. You will not see it because of what they've done. They've showed their hand, and now I hope they suffer. I hope they suffer 1,000 deaths for the intelligence that they've insulted over many Arsenal fans. And before someone twists that and says, oh, you're wishing death upon the Kroenkes. No. When I say suffer 1,000 deaths, I mean I want them to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want. They could apologize all they want now. It's all words. Yeah. It's all words. As far as the investment thing goes, we've heard this before. It's nothing new. It's war chest this, war chest that.
Exactly.
How long have we heard this shite? Every fucking year. Nothing happens. If you're expecting investment from this club in the summer, you are delusional because it's not happening, bro. It's not happening. People need to wake up. The sooner we get Kroneke out of the club, the better. And I implore every Arsenal fan out there, I don't care what nationality you are. I don't care what background you come from. Protest and make your feelings known. If you're not able to get to the stadium, cool. Do what I did tonight on social media. Tweet the hashtags. Comment on this, that, and the other. Retweet posts about it. Do what I did. It's not difficult. If you care about the club, you'll want these fuckers out. End of discussion.
Yeah, and again, formerly a Sentiment FC, and keep going over it. Says I follow Colin. KSC ruined the rest of this season in his opinion. Gutless, soft-hearted players as well. There's something going on that. He also goes on to say, no apology, only hell for them lot. KSC should have apologised 10 years ago with a heavy investment. And then he goes on to say as well, nothing mean more to the Kroenkes' portfolio of KSC, kill their company dead, like you just basically said, go bankrupt. What also pissed me off was they did that announcement, that statement of basically they'd pulled out, and it was at the end it was the board of Arsenal. He didn't have the fucking balls to own it on a piece of paper. On a piece of paper, couldn't even. At least
Joe Glazer had the balls to put his name to it. Although it was a bit weird seeing Joe Glazer's name on a Liverpool Twitter account statement. I must admit that threw me off. But
copy and paste.
My point still stands. John Henry faced it on a YouTube video, right?
Yeah.
Joe Glazer put his name to a letter on the Man United Twitter account. What's Stan Kroenke done? Nothing.
Threw his son under the bus.
Nothing. All he did was use his son as a meat shield.
Yeah.
That to me is the act of a coward.
Yeah.
How can I,
How can we?
And to be honest with you, it's not even about respect because I don't respect him. End of. But what kind of father are you to use your son as a meat shield? I guarantee you, if I had kids, I wouldn't do that. That is the most despicable act I've ever seen. Right?
And
to blame the pandemic for not communicating with us as well. I'm sorry, you're not getting a.
But it's also if you've got kids and they're struggling, right? Say you said, "All right, Josh, here's Arsenal," and if you're a businessman, you know the value. You know whether the value of your assets are going up or down. They're not going up, right? In long term, they're not going up. You do the most you can for your kid to fix that problem, right? You bring in if he can't do it, then you do it, right? You go out and you make sure they have the right people. I mean, he does that. He does that over here with his U.S. interests, right? So he does. He can do it. You don't want to, right? He can do it. I mean, you can. He can go out there and talk to, if he wanted to, talk to any of the pundits that are Arsenal and talk to them and get a thought process. Like maybe he'll find out who Overmars actually is. Why does that name keep coming up, right? Does he looks at his board, does he have people on there that are doing their job, much less trusting them, right? I trust you, but you're not doing your job. No, it's got to be both, right? The board is not doing their job, right? Because they're watching the team go down in flames and nothing's happening, right? So similarly to Leno, right? He made a mistake today. He'll be playing on Thursday. Ryan has had people in front of him twice. He's played twice. People in front of him and let him down. Right.
Matt Ryan's been class since when he was in the team as well.
He comes out. He commands his area, and it doesn't matter where it is. He comes out with authority. He takes over. He goes and gets that ball. We don't get that from Leno. Totally different mindset. But so when you don't have a threat of losing your job, I guess you let up, and that's what we got here, right? So the board is not doing their job. Vinay doesn't know what he's doing. Arteta's just starting out, so you just start.
Doesn't know what he's doing.
So you got basically the 4 levels of Arsenal, and the assistants don't know what they're doing. So you got like 5 levels of like your management structure just not really doing their job. Watching a team go down in flames, not really flames, but they're basically killing whatever history you talk about. That's so far away, so long ago, right? That's what they're doing, and they wouldn't do that if this were one of the top 6 teams in the U.S. No way would that happen. No way. I have no doubt. Like if you take over like a Pittsburgh Steelers, a Green Bay, a Dallas Cowboys, people will be pissed if you bring them down. Definitely, right? The Lakers down.
And besides that, guy, I take issue with the fact that, because Frankie mentioned in the chat, what does the owner of a company do? Make sure the board and CEO are running their company well. Well, I would argue that the board and CEO of Arsenal aren't running this club well. Yeah. I would argue that's not been the case because when I look at Vinay, all I see is another Ivan Gazidis, bro. That's all I see. Right?
Well, it's not even that. It's incompetence, though. It's not a cheat. It's incompetence because if you think about it, what team goes into the start of their season with 8 center backs and then buys another one? It doesn't even make any sense, right?
And send the one that you pay 35 million for out on loan.
Yeah, I mean, exactly? So we spent money on this guy. We're not going to use him, and we're going to send him out, and we're going to buy another one. The problem with the team is the midfield. It's been a problem, just like the center backs have been a problem for a while. But you got 8 of them. Until you get rid of half of them, there's no why you can't. No.
And also, when you look at it, right, the 8 center backs thing's an issue, right? But that first team needed a lot more reinforcement than just Thomas Partey and Gabriel. Everyone's seen that. Everyone. You didn't have to be a football expert to realize that. Yet you've got people who are running the top of this club who didn't realize that. Like I can see that Gabriel and Partey aren't going to fix this shambles of a squad in one season. And yet there are people at the top of this club that didn't realize that. It boggles the mind. It really does. And as far as Vinay goes,
you got one left back who's injury prone, and the other one is sent out on loan.
Right? Vinay's PR game, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this as well. Vinay's PR game is dreadful. Dreadful. The one thing that Ivan Gazidis has on him is the fact that as far as PR goes, Ivan Gazidis is untouchable. He knows what to say, and it'll go down well with people because he knows exactly how to push, fans' buttons in a sense, but in a good way. Vinay someone needs to tell him what to say and what not to say, because the way he was stumbling over his words and everything like that, and then you have Josh come out and blame a pandemic for not engaging with fans as the sole reason why they've not done that. How long has the pandemic been going on exactly?
I think it's about
a year and a
15
bit.
years.
He's been
It's
here
about
since
15. Is it 10 or 15? When did they
been here
show?
since
The pandemic started when
2008. He's
they
blaming a
took over the
fucking year
team.
and a bit pandemic. Come on.
I wasn't following the team as much as I am now, but I have a feeling the pandemic has gone on since they've started their association with the club. You guys didn't know it because you thought it was okay. You didn't know what was going on. You're like, why do I feel this way? Guess what? It wasn't COVID. It was Kroneke. You guys got the Kroneke 19 or whatever they call it. It makes you see weird things. See your team struggle. I mean, that's.
Oh dear.
No, I mean, think about this though. The team took out $50 million paid for Partey. Isn't it true that you don't pay the full transfer amount for most transfers if you're paying it out? It is on a payment plan. Most of the ones
I don't know with Spanish.
No.
I mean, you guys are talking about outside the country. I'm saying, couldn't they have just looked around? I don't know, England, maybe.
Yeah, they probably should have done, to be fair.
And they could have probably picked up 4 players,
but they didn't.
$50 million. For $50 million, you take that $50 million and you spread it around. Maybe you get 4 players for and then you spread out the payments for the transfer amounts, whatever.
Here's the thing, Guy. Right, this is what I was talking about with Russ about VAR. Right, you're applying logic to people that don't use logic. That's the problem right there. They don't use logic. Any person that knows football will think, I could get a player in a foreign league, like a Thomas Partey or a Gabriel, for instance, right? They've never played in the Premier League before, but Thomas Partey you can kind of excuse because he's proven that he's world-class level, yeah? But the problem is we've been recruiting poorly for a long time, and if anyone knows that in any business, you get people that aren't going to let you down, right? I'm not having this argument where people say, "Oh, Saint Maximin's not good." People sometimes say to me that Saint Maximin is not good enough for Arsenal. I tell you what, I'd snap your hands off for Alan Saint Maximin at Newcastle right now.
You can look at any team below us in the table. There's at least one on every one of them that we could use. All of them.
That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. When you've got Newcastle players, when you've got Brighton players, Aston Villa players getting into this Arsenal team, that is a severe issue. And the top of this club have fucked up, and it's about time they own up to it. But they won't own up to it. Why? Because it means they have to look themselves in the mirror and realize that they fucked up. And they also fucked up appointing Arteta in a way. Right? Now, don't get it twisted. I'm behind Arteta, and I will be until he's not here anymore. But they appointed a rookie manager and didn't put people behind him to support him. And that is where they fucked up. But they won't admit that. Why? Because they have to look themselves in the mirror for that and realize that they fucked up. Simple.
All right.
I don't know. Did you guys get to listen to the audio for the fans forum?
I didn't listen to it because it would just give me ear rape.
It was pretty. I think pretty rough. You've got Arsenal supporters basically going at it over with a billionaire basically, and he's kind of taking it, and you can tell we can tell you're getting a little annoyed with the way you're answering, and it's like. Yeah, I mean, everybody's like, yeah, you probably should be, but is he going to do something about it? We'll see. But he definitely, like you said, took some bullets for Dad. He definitely took some bullets for Dad.
He was nothing but a meat shield guy. That's what he was. He was a meat shield. That's what winds me up about it. I feel sorry for Josh, really, in a sense, because his dad's throwing him under the bus. But really, I don't feel sorry for him at the same time because he's part of the ownership that has fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? I feel sorry for him in the sense that his dad's thrown him under the bus. But in the same sense, I don't feel sorry for him because ultimately, him, his team, Vinay, all of them, they have fucked up massively this season. And now, if they had any common sense about them, now bear in mind, I'm trying to apply logic to people that don't use logic. So the whole point is invalid here. But if they had any sort of common sense about them, which we all know that they don't, they wouldn't have rookies as a structure. Why not Sentiment FC has put it perfectly in the chat. The whole structure is rookies. That's it. All of them. Josh never forget what he's done with the Denver Nuggets, right? That's a basketball side.
Yeah.
So
but you know what, if you follow those sports, the one thing about those sports is they make it as foolproof as they can for the owners because the owners are stupid. They do stupid things. They the same reason why, like you say, we say that Arsenal they overspend money on Arsenal players, right? In the States, because the owners were doing the exact same thing, they started putting in caps. So rookies used to get these massive, crazy salaries to start their careers. They had never even put on a jersey for a professional team, but they were getting top dollar. And then it blew up in their face one time. And then the next thing you know, they put a cap in and said, you know what? If it's your first year, the maximum you can make is this. And then they stagger it down because they have the draft system. And that's how they fix those problems. Because you know what? Because they know they're stupid and they need help. Over here, but in the Premier League, right? You can
winds me up, man. Like, if you're stupid, how do you get a position where you're a billionaire if you're stupid?
Well, it's not. When I say stupid, it's just they don't usually make their money in sports, right?
Yeah, they usually make it some business generally.
Like none of those billionaires are making it being professional football owners. That's not how it works. It's like a real estate person, somebody in technology.
Stan Kroneke owns Walmart, doesn't he? So
his wife is an heir of it.
All right. So his wife's with that.
But he does real estate.
Money in real estate and property.
Yeah, he owns like so much land. He owns like he's like this.
Oh my!
He owns so much land, just sitting there doing nothing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
it sounds about right with Stan Kroneke. I mean, Colin, there on WWE or something like that. The guy that runs that. One of the guys came out and said he should be invested.
I remember that well.
Yeah,
I remember that well. Right, I remember the episode of Raw being trash, but at the same time, I remember that interview vividly, right? Because one thing you cannot accuse Vince McMahon of is being a terrible businessman. It's the one thing.
What did Kroneke do? He told him he couldn't use a stadium.
What he did, right? The whole thing was
an event basically.
Yeah, the whole thing was right. Vince and Stan Kroneke had an agreement that Raw would get the Pepsi Center for one Monday night, right? And Stan was unaware that the Denver Nuggets were in contention for the playoffs, right? And then when they did make the playoffs, there was a scheduling conflict between the episode of Raw that Vince and Kroneke had an agreement with that the Pepsi Center was going to be involved in, and the Denver Nuggets playoff game that same night at the Pepsi Center. And Vince McMahon lambasted him on national television on a well-known news channel. I don't remember the exact station, but I remember what he said, right? Where he was impersonating a good businessman. And you know what? Everything that Vince said then rings true now. and no one can dispute it. Vince might make dodgy decisions here and there, but the one thing you cannot accuse him of being a terrible businessman, because he's created an empire worth millions that is watched by, well, not so much now, but watched by a few million people around the world, right? Stan Kroenke basically fucked over the Denver Nuggets that same year, the exact same way that they fucked over Arsenal for the rest of the season with the Super League bollocks.
Yep.
And no one can tell me there's not comparisons between the two, because there is. He's probably not even aware of the fact that we're in a semi-final of a European competition, and yet he wants to put us out there as a European Super League club, right? When we've got no right being in there in the first place.
He probably thinks it's in the Champions League.
Mate, that was...
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Mate, that was
European 4 years ago.
I know,
4 years ago.
I
still wear the scars of fucking 10-2.
Cup winners cup.
Oh dear, give his strength. But with that, I think we'll wrap things up. I mean, guys, thanks for coming on, keeping me sane. And
Ready, boys.
We could probably go all night, but
we literally could, but literally we all got. Well, 3 of us got to get to bed at some point. Gary's not long woke up. What time is it over there, Gary? By the way,
it's like 5:30. It's not even dinner time yet.
Yeah, Gary's just got out of bed.
So lazy.
What's the weather out there like, Gary? Is it nice?
It's actually sunny and nice. So it's actually
it's sunny here for a week now. It's been good.
Yeah. Not hot though. It's been sunny, but it's not been like.
No. It's same thing here. It's been sunny, but
it's been sunny, but it's been like chilly as fuck.
Yeah,
it's cold at night.
And you're in Scotland, for crying out loud, so it'd be worse up there.
Mate, it's worse in the morning. I get up at fucking 6 in the morning to go to work. I'm freezing my bollocks off out here.
Oh dear. But yeah,
not literally, but you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean, but yeah, definitely, yeah. So in terms of the weekend, I'll try and plan another podcast over the weekend, and another one before Thursday. See how I feel on Thursday, if I do a watch along or not. You guys will know straight away anyway. But not long. I'm just counting down the days now for the season to end. So then I can do the big build up. Got him for the biggie, the main event this summer. England versus Scotland at Wembley.
Oh God!
We're going to lose.
What, right?
You're going to cover the Olympic football.
Do you know what? Right, yeah. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Like, I mean, all right. The one. I'll be honest with you, right? The one thing that gives me hope with that is your manager.
Yeah, Southgate. Yeah.
And funny that I'm gonna. We'll end it on a more hilarious note, right? Southgate is linked to the Tottenham job.
Oh my God!
Have that what you will.
Look into it. We didn't say what you will.
We'll take
he's definitely qualified. It fits perfectly in.
Yeah, he's a bottle job. Spurs are a bottle job. Brilliant.
Doesn't win trophies.
I think Arsenal will endorse that. The fans and everything will be happy to see that. If they need it,
I'll thumbs up. I recommend Southgate for the job. Yeah. I'll recommend him myself.
Southgate in.
Southgate.
Hashtag it, boys. Hashtag.
Oh, dear.
Break Twitter.
Yeah, literally. Imagine. Well, we won't. The fucking Tottenham will break Twitter. Most of their fan base will have social media, like their YouTube accounts of fucking magic expressions. Oh my God! Gone from Pochettino.
Do you know what? If they were gonna get Daniel Levy out, Expressions is probably the best guy to lead it because, like, he's got that energy. What they did was embarrassing.
Well, it's like that post I put up earlier. Literally, how Arsenal and Chelsea do protests, and then that how Tottenham do it. It's literally like a picture of two people fucking playing guitar, singing music or whatever, and 3 or 4 people in the background. It's basically a glorified music concert outside for free. Oh dear. But it is what it is. But yeah, thanks guys for coming on. Where can people find you? We'll start with you, Colin, before we go. If you want to be found, that is.
Well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, sound at cmuch91. I'm going to be doing all I can on social media in regards to the whole Kroneke out thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm part of the AST now, so I do my bit as well.
Any protest that is happening, I'll be on social media retweeting every post about it. And as far as my YouTube goes, I'm probably going to do another FM video with Schalke. We did get into the Champions League in season 2. We did. I spent money, right? I had 90 million to spend. Of course,
What, you spent money?
I spent money, yes.
How dare you?
He bought Mustafi and Kolasinac.
Oh, those two are sold. Don't worry. But I'm not going to reveal any more than that because I don't want to spoil it. So, yeah, you can follow me on Colin Plays FM over there, and who knows, you might see.
Oh my God, tired.
You might see a special database on there with Arsenal legends involved. I'm not putting anything out there, just throwing a bit of tasty treats in there.
Big tease you.
And you're not.
Gary. Oh, for God's sake. We're going to go down that route now. Oh, dear.
The biggest tease.
It's too late for that.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, after what you said earlier, I'm surprised you're still alive, to be honest.
Oh,
wow.
Gary, what about yourself?
Yeah, so you can see me on DWTT channel over here on Game Day and Arsenal Fan Circle, which we actually have our show tonight. We should have had it last night. It would have been so much better.
Where's your 5? What's your 5, Gary?
I 5 for this game.
Oh,
There's only a point.
Well, like I said, the reason why I picked this not because I'm scared. So I was scared of Eddie.
Ooh.
I was scared of Ceballos.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of scared of Holding, and then I was looking to. I was hoping to get Mills Rowe and Pepe to do something today, and basically, this is a second game in a row where you can go look at all 11. Tell me which person did really good, and it's hard. If you watch the game, if you ever go watch the replay,
surprised you didn't put Leno in your 5, mate.
You
I'm really
you know what's funny?
Leno,
No. You know what's funny? I actually did have him in there because I had him as a +1 because I said, you know what?
He's 6.
I did. I actually, if you look at my notes, I actually had Leno. I put Leno and I said, you know what? I'm gonna leave Leno in there just because I have a feeling and I'm scared. Ryan has shown us consistency. Leno's been iffy, and this is a game where we needed him. So, and he did not let us down. He didn't let us down
Ryan
today.
Never lets us down.
There you go. All right. We let. Well, you know what? We let him play. Arsenal doesn't let the other Ryan play.
Ryan's probably better than Leno.
That's a compliment or an insult.
Told the wrong keeper.
No, that's a compliment.
I'm hoping it's a compliment.
Because it is.
Oh dear. And Vassarati, what about yourself?
Oh God. Oh, find me at Ruggy Boy 101 on Twitter, Arsenal Central down there somewhere. Yeah, YouTube, and yeah, that's it. I'm just fed. I don't want to watch any more matches. Really, I'm fed up.
Welcome to our world.
It's a good thing it's on a Friday evening, right? Because then
it's not. It's ruined the whole weekend.
No, you wake up tomorrow and guess what? You don't even have to worry about watching Arsenal. You can wake up and then your kids will do something, and hopefully that will you'll forget about what just happened. You sleep it off. It's like you've been drinking all night and you got a headache and you go to bed and then you wake up and the headache's gone. Tomorrow the headache will be gone. I'm telling you.
I might have a drink actually. I'll go to the big.
I mean, I've been drinking Arsenal for near on 20 years, so what's the difference?
They will drive you to drink.
Oh dear. Or drive you to complete boredness, nearly. In my case. Lastly, judges, look at he had some hair back in the day, look at he is now. Oh dear. But yeah, as I said, I'll plan something over the week I'll plan something for over the weekend and another podcast over the weekend and another podcast before Thursday. And depending on my mindset, we'll probably do a watch long. I don't know yet. And from that, I also got to talk to Mug as well, sort the quizzes out, get that back up and running. And yeah, also I'm planning something with Melvin and a few others for the end for start of May. I'm not going to say too much, but things are in place. Wheels are in motion. Big names are coming. I'm not going to. Big names are coming. That's all I'm saying. Big names.
We're gone, Gary. We'll be out. We'll be on the outs. We'll have to do our own podcast.
Oh no! Now I know where I stand.
Our own watch alongs, yeah.
But yeah, look out for that. That come to start to mid May. More will come out before, and obviously once it's all in place, and you guys will be the first to know what exactly I'm talking about, because I'm probably talking gobbledygook and you're thinking, what the fuck? But you know what? It'll be worth it in the end. Trust me. With what's been pulled out of the bag so far, it's something else, put it that way. But until then, guys, as always, up the Arsenal, saying, we want Kroneke out. I said, we want Kroneke out.
Fuck Kroneke.